Hello, and welcome to Nostalgia Marcana. I'm your host, Doug Leaf. Each episode of this podcast, we'll look back on the movies, TV, games, people, and phenomena that we still love talking about all these years later, and ask ourselves why these bits of pop culture still enchant us today. This week, we'll be revisiting...
There's a bunch of birds in the sky, and some deers just went running by. Oh, the snow's pure and white on the earth, rich and brown. Just another Sunday morning in my quiet mountain town. The sun is shining and the grass is green under the 3 feet of snow, I mean. This is a day when it's hard to wear a frown. All the happy people stop to say hello.
Get out of my way!
Even though the temperature's low. It's a perfect Sunday morning in my quiet little mountain town.
Well, good morning, Stan.
Mom, can I have $8 to see a movie?
A movie?
Yeah, it's gonna be the best movie ever. It's a foreign film from Canada.
All right, here you go. But be back for supper.
Thanks, Mom.
Going down to South Park, gonna have ourselves a time, because today we are focusing on South Park, bigger, longer, and uncut. I am really glad we're gonna be delving into this insane world that Trey Parker and Matt Stone have built, but I'm not doing it by myself, of course. We've got a full count tonight. So first, you've heard him on the podcast many times before, including, most recently, what did we do together? We did Super Mario Brothers 3. Most recently, he is a performer with West Side Comedy Theater and a teacher as well. Please welcome back Rich Baker.
Always a pleasure to be back, Doug. Excited for this topic.
And I've brought on one of Rich's close associates, another improv performer and teacher and voice actor. Welcome to the show, Rolland Lopez.
Hey, thanks for having me, buddy.
Sure, guy. No problem. And you've heard him on 2 of our prior episodes on Pokemon and Happy Gilmore. He is the host of the Tales From the Backlog podcast, as well as a Top 3 podcast. Please welcome to the show, Dave Jackson.
Yay! Thanks for having me back. I'm super excited for this.
Yeah, Dave, I'm going to start with you because your show was actually the origin point for this subject, because you did an episode of Tales from the Backlog on the video game South Park Stick of Truth, and that just sort of got me thinking about going back to this world. So I think you're probably the youngest one here, too. So I'm curious to hear your nostalgic memories of South Park and the film in particular.
Yeah, South Park came out like right when I was in the sweet spot for it. Like I think I was like 11 or something like that when I first watched South Park, like right when, kids cussing on TV was like exactly what I wanted out of my entertainment. So I grew up alongside South Park and I watched it for a long time. I fell off about 2007, 2008, something like that. But the early seasons of South Park all the way through like the World of Warcraft episode season, that was pretty much the last one I watched and really loved. So I love it. Obviously you said I did the podcast about the Stick of Truth. I love that game because it harkens back to the early era of South Park. And the movie is one of my favorite, let's see, how do I want to phrase this? It's my favorite musical, without a doubt. It is one of my favorite South Park things in general. And it is, I watched it today. It's still very funny. I really love the movie. So and no one really talks about the movie anymore. So I'm really happy to be here. We did top 3 South Park episodes on one of my podcasts. We talked about the video game on another podcast, but the movie has eluded me to talk about until now. So I'm so excited.
Cool. Rich, I'll turn it over to you. Tell me about your nostalgic memories of South Park and the film.
I was from moment one when it came out. I was 16 when it hit Comedy Central, the pilot, and I was hook, line, and sinker because I'd been a fan of The Simpsons and King of the Hill and Beavis and Butthead and so many other animation things. And to me, this And honestly, still, I mean, I'm one of those fans when I tell people, like, oh, do you watch South Park? Like, almost everyone says the same thing that Dave says, which is like, oh, I used to watch it. I don't watch it more. Like, I watch every episode when it comes out, like, as soon as I can. I've seen all, you know, I'm updated on the latest things. I've always loved the show, but this movie, particular when it came out, and we'll talk more about it later. But I just remember it being like, wow, this isn't just a cash grab. This is a real great movie. That's not just like, well, we need more content to support the show or whatever. Like this, it still holds up. I rewatch this anytime and always love it.
Awesome. Rolland, how about you?
Well, I'm a lot older than everybody else here. So I was 26 when this came out, when South Park came out, the show when it premiered, and I remember seeing commercials for it, and I remember thinking, I might even have said it out loud, like, who the hell asked for this? Like, who's going to want to watch this? The animation looks awful. The commercial, the original commercial that kind of showcased the show could not even come close to displaying what the show is actually like, because it had to be like, a normal cartoon. So when I finally got around, when I finally watched it, I was actually blown away with how great that first season was. And I did feel like South Park, like Matt and Trey did what Mike Judge should have done. And it's like they capitalized immediately on the consumerism and like the popularity of the show. And I mean, you could buy anything South Park. There were mouse pads that were South Park that we had at the office. And so I was thrilled that they came out with a movie so early in the lifespan of the TV show, because it took forever, for example, for Beavis and Butthead to have a movie, and by the time they did, it already way past its peak. So I'm glad that the movie came like when it actually did, and like Rich mentioned, there was a part of me that's like, oh, this is just more of them making more objects to sell, and was really blown away at how great it was. The music was fantastic. There was a lot of nuance in the music. I mean, I know we'll get to it, and I'll talk about my thoughts on that later. But and the storyline was fantastic. Like, it was really well done. Yeah, that was my thoughts.
Yeah, my nostalgic memory. So I was 17 when this hit in '97, and I was doing. It was in the summer of '97, and at that time I was doing this drama program through UCLA, even though I was still in high school. UCLA had this program you could do, and I did it with a friend of the pod, Shakina Nafak, and I remember we stayed at her grandmother's house, which was in Long Beach, which, if people don't know, is relatively close to LA. And so I just remember being in their house, and this thing was on, and spending that summer like watching these episodes and being blown away by it. And, this was at a time when Comedy Central kind of had nothing else going for it for the most part. It was like, some stand-up you could watch, and, movies that were 10 to 15 years old, of like, hey, you want to see Caddyshack? Well, Comedy Central's showing it. So this was original programming for them. So that was, really exciting. And when the movie came along, it was so brilliant because, one, like, as a, again, like a high school age drama student, I was all about musicals. And this is a fantastic musical done by people who are definitely students of the form. Like, you can see they wear all their references on their shoulders. And it's not surprising these guys went on to do Book of Mormon, which, Dave, if this was your favorite musical, if you can get around to seeing it, that's going to be your second.
You haven't seen it, Dave?
I have heard the music, and I don't know. I heard the music a long time ago, and I just despise the content of the music. I didn't find it funny whatsoever.
It makes more sense in context, I think.
I'm sure it does. Yeah.
I will say I treated myself. It was playing here for my birthday. I went and splurged on a very expensive ticket so I could get a great seat. Went by myself. The beginning started. I had a smile pasted on my face the entire freaking time. Absolutely loved it. But that's not the topic of this podcast today. Sorry. As much as I would love it to.
Yeah. Well, the other thing I wanted to mention with regards to the movie before we kind of launch into it proper is just it hit right as the show was peaking, as you said, Rolland, but it's also so meta. It's so much about the controversy that erupted around the show because of its offensive content. And so I love that they took that and said, well, then we're going to make this movie about us. And it almost feels like this movie is like the thesis statement for everything that South Park was about.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Good call. Yeah.
So not so much to talk about in terms of the production. I thought it was interesting that they were doing this, in-house, basically alongside seasons 2 and 3 of the show. Yeah. And like they talked about like just what a cluster that was, trying to do all of that at once, and how miserable it was, which I would believe. But
yeah,
the end product speaks for itself. I mean, it's great.
Yeah, it's it looks like the show, because it was done by the same people and everything. But like it, even though it absolutely just like looks like they took the TV and put it on a 70mm screen or whatever, like it's like because of the writing and the epic nature of it, it's like it doesn't feel like the show. It still feels like a little bit different.
Yeah, they upped the ante a little bit for this.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Other thing from the production I wanted to highlight was the original title was South Park All Hell Breaks Loose. Mm-hmm. And they were told, no, you can't have hell in the title. So they went with what we got, which apparently they weren't smart enough to realize that this was a very pornographic title.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a few things that were changed in the movie because of censors that actually made it better. We'll probably talk about it as we get. But like Uncle Fucker was supposed to be Motherfucker. And they're like, you can't say Motherfucker that many times. And they're like, all right, we'll change it to Uncle. And they're like, oh, this is better.
Yeah, it's weirder.
It's way better.
All right, well then let's just get into the movie. So we open on the Paramount logo, which turns into one of the mountains in South Park. Raiders of the Lost Ark shit. Like Paramount loves this when the mountain turns real. But anyway, then we go into Quiet Little Mountain Town, our first song.
Yeah,
and we meet everybody.
Kyle, we're going to the Terrence and Phillip movie. Oh my God, dude!
Kyle, where are you going?
We're going ice skating.
Well, take your little brother out with you.
Ma, he's not even my real brother. He's adopted.
Do as I say, Kyle!
Okay, I'm sorry.
Look at those frail and fragile boys. It really gets me down. The world is such a rotten place, and city life's a complete disgrace. That's why I moved to this redneck mashugana quiet mountain town. Ike! Big baby!
This program is brought to you by Snacky S'mores, the creamy fun of s'mores and a delightful cookie crunch.
Ma'am, somebody's at the door.
Coming, hun.
I can't see the TV.
It's been 6 weeks since Saddam Hussein was killed by a pack of wild boars, and the world is still glad to be rid of him.
Oh, look, Eric, it's your little friends.
Fireman! What are you guys doing here? Oh, sweet, dude. Yes! Off to the movies we shall go, where we learn everything that we know. 'Cause the movies teach us what our parents don't have time to say. And this movie's gonna make our lives complete. 'Cause Terrence and Phillip are sweet. Super sweet. Thank God we live in the quiet little redneck podunk white trash USA. Can I have 5 tickets to Terrence and Phillip Asses of Fire, please? No!
Yeah.
This song's so good. It's such a perfect intro to the movie. Like, it's a really fun, upbeat song, but you have people in the town, like, being mean to the kids along the way, slowly introducing you to all the characters as the kids go gather everybody up to go see the movie. I love this. I used to have the soundtrack just, like, in a CD I would play in my car, like on rotation all the time. So it's a great beginning to the movie and the soundtrack if you want to isolate it that way.
But I do recall watching it in the theater and going, oh, there's music? Like, because we hadn't yet been exposed to that aspect. There may have been, I don't remember if there was like a song or two in those first couple of seasons before the movie aired. But now the idea of South Park having, original music, we're all used to that. But back then, that was a surprise. And I think starting out with that was a great way of letting us all know this is not going to be exactly like the TV show. You can expect it to be something different. So I thought that was
I'm
cool.
pretty sure that I didn't know it was a musical when I saw the movie, and when that opening song hit, I was like, "Oh, this is funny." They're like parodying the musical opening, and that that'll be the only song in the movie. And then I'm like, "Oh no, the whole damn thing's just wall to wall Broadway musical references."
There was a point where I literally went, "Oh, so I guess this is a musical." Like that's what I'm in for. It wasn't that first song, but definitely happened at some point.
Yeah.
And it's an efficient fucking musical because this movie is less than 90 minutes long and there's 15 songs in it or something or more.
Yeah.
That they've crammed in here. Like they're short, they are, they're catchy, they're melodically just, mathematically perfect. Like they're great songs. Yeah, and yeah, exactly. Like this is very clearly the opening of Beauty and the Beast.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
South Park style. And they do a good job because even within the song, like they're dropping in information you're going to need to know. So they let you know, Ike's adopted. He's Canadian. Saddam Hussein has been killed by Boers. Kenny's going to go to hell for missing church. Like all of these things they get in there. And I did want to spotlight one lyric that I thought was so brilliant, where they say they're all getting tickets to go see the Terrence and Phillip movie. That's what they're doing. And they saying, off to the movies we shall go, where we learn everything that we know, because the movies teach us what our parents don't have time to say.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. But that's also a line that is it's kind of brought back later when Kyle tells his mom, why don't you talk to me? You should be talking to me. Like they're already underscoring that theme. Like it's just this musical so well done.
And as if that's not enough for the opening song to do, if someone had seen this movie who hadn't seen South Park TV show, which was probably, I'm sure some portion of the people who came to see the movie just out of curiosity, the opening song does a really good job of like, let me catch you up on what you need to know that everyone else in the theater knows before you watch the rest of this thing.
Right.
Yep. They efficiently tell you each of the four kids and kind of their deal.
Yeah.
And it's you can boil them down to, I guess, one sentence for each kid. I think they're more well drawn than that, but for the introductory, salvo here, it gets you exactly what you need.
Well, yep. And then they have a couple jokes thrown in along the way, like the line where there's like, "Oh, the happy people stop to say hello. Get out of my way."
I love. What a great way to intro Cartman for someone who doesn't know he is. Mom, get the door. Get out of my way. Like as she's walking past the TV. Oh, no, you're blocking the TV is what he says. Yeah, you're blocking the TV. A great way to show that Cartman's just a jerk.
Yeah, he's basically all the other four kids from Willy Wonka rolled into one.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Good call.
Well said.
Yeah. So they get to the theater and they get one ticket to Asses of Fire, please. They are immediately told no, because it's been rated R for naughty language. And I love the meta joke here. They say, "Oh, who wants to watch it anyway? The animation's all crappy." Yeah. And then they construction paper out of there.
Well, I do love when he says no, the music does this like, wow. It like ends, but it also goes down. The music goes down.
That's the ending note of the song, is it's playing out. They're like, "Could we have 5 tickets to Terrence and Phillip Asses of Fire, please?" And it's no. And the big final note right at the end. So great. It's great.
Brilliant.
And I like that Terrence and Phillip are like, you can tell like South Park kind of exists on this continuum, kind of just as like the descendants of Beavis and Butthead. Yes. And so Terrence and Phillip are kind of like a copy of a copy. In a way. I like them.
I always also thought of like clearly an Itchy Scratchy kind of reference as well of these two, of just like the show within the show and the double thing.
Yeah, except that they are real people and not cartoons, which is they're very real people, as we'll find out.
Yeah.
So they solicit the help of an unhoused person to act as their proxy in buying the tickets. And they get their tickets to go see Asses of Fire, and we are treated to, as you said, Uncle Fucker.
Yeah.
You're such a pig fucker, Philip. What did he say? Terrence, why would you call me a pig fucker? Well, let's see. First of all, you fuck pigs. Oh, yeah. Well, fuck my ass and call me a bitch. Oh, you shit-faced cockmaster. Wow. Shit-faced cockmaster. Listen, you donkey-raping shit-eater. Donkey-raping shit-eater.
Dopey baby shit-eater.
You'd fuck your uncle. You'd fuck your uncle. Shut your fucking face, Uncle Fucker. You're a cocksucking ass-licking Uncle Fucker. You're an Uncle Fucker. Yes, it's true. Nobody fucks uncles quite like you. Shut your fucking face, Uncle Fucker. You're the one that fucked your uncle, Uncle Fucker. You don't eat or sleep or mow the lawn. You just fuck your uncle all day long.
Oh, but God, I love when he turns and goes, "Hey," he says, "this movie might not be good for you kids."
Yeah.
Like he tries to do the right thing for a moment.
If you want the vodka, then you'll just say,
Yep. If there was anybody who like went into this movie not knowing much about South Park and they see the opening song and everything's pretty tame for the opening song, and then Uncle Fucker starts, it's like minute 6 of the movie.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, this is what we're in for.
Yeah, this movie has to, I don't know if it's the record for the most F-bombs in a movie. Like, I know that, like, you know, you've got Pulp Fiction in the mix and The Big Lebowski. Like, there's movies that have lots of F-bombs in it. But for a movie that doesn't have Samuel L. Jackson or was written by the Coen brothers, this is a pretty impressive F-bomb count. But the song alone, like, I love that how just vapid this movie is, like, because you don't get to see much of it, but it's literally just them saying, like, hey, Terrence, I'm going to fart now. You know, and that's it. Like, there's no story. They're just, it is utterly devoid of anything.
It's
but
just
we know it's 3
them
hours long.
Just calling each other names for, probably like an hour and a half. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, there's a title card. It's a 3-hour film.
Oh, nice.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like at the beginning, you can see like the kind of the plot setup for the movie when they start calling each other names and the kids get this amazed look. Like he calls him a shit-faced cockmaster.
Wow.
And they're like, wow,
Shit-faced cockmaster.
Like their horizons have just been expanded by this.
Yeah.
And this, that actually pinged something for me, which is like the whole thing about parents not wanting their kids to see this because of curse words. Like I was thinking about this because I have kids that are, you know, like I was literally watching this downstairs in my house. I'm like, I better turn down the volume because they can hear it. And I'm not the parent that's like, I don't care about them learning bad words because they're bad and somehow worse than violence and everything else. It's mostly just like, they'll fucking repeat everything they hear. Like, I just don't want them to be somewhere and all of a sudden they start repeating this and embarrassing themselves without realizing it. And so, like, it's funny to me to watch this now as a parent and kind of go like, okay, you know, that's what I'm trying to prevent. I don't really care about them learning the F-bomb. It's not that big a deal to learn, you know, curse words. But but you're right. Yeah, the kids are enamored with it. And one more detail that I should mention is as people are like, everyone leaves the theater, but the 5 of them. Yeah. And as one of them's walking out, they say something like, well, what do you expect? They're Canadian.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder, like, you know, I'm sure no one like clocked this, but I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall of like some random theater, you know, and just watched like, when did people walk out of this? Oh. Like, was Uncle Fucker the first time that like, and then it gets worse, or how's that go?
I definitely know a moment when people did in my theater, and I'll mention it when we get to that scene.
Nice.
But I mean,
it's a litmus test.
Yeah. I thought Uncle Fucker, I walked out of this theater with Uncle Fucker being one of my favorite songs, probably because it's the easiest to remember out of all the songs, hearing it for the first time. But to me, my favorite moment has to be the Suck My Balls at the end. Like the afterthought, like the song is done and whether it's Terrence or Philip, like has to get that one last bit in of the Suck My Balls. Love that moment.
And again, very like musical theater, right? Like often that'll happen where you've got a big line of people, you know, Oklahoma, you know, very, you know, loudly, and then one last like yeehaw or something at the end.
Yeah.
Suck my balls. Yeah. Oh man. So 3 hours later, they're walking out of the theater, cursing, repeating everything they heard. I noted that one of the posters on the movie theater was for something called The Milk Song, which is like, that sounds like the perfect art house, like bullshit Oscar bait movie. But they walk up to find all the other kids ice skating peacefully.
There's the girl that I like. Hey, Stan, tell about when Terrence called Philip a testicle-shitting rectal boy. Now more than ever, she gives me butterflies. It makes my stomach queasy every time she walks by. Asshole, I'm talking to you. I know I can be cool if I try.
Come, Wendy, let us try to jump the hilly brush.
Who are you, kid?
My name is Gregory. I just transferred from Yardale, where I had a 4.0 grade point average.
Want to skate with us?
We've been skating all morning and laughing and talking of memories past.
We saw the Terrence and Philip movie.
Uh-huh. Try and catch me, Wendy.
Bye, Stan.
Yeah. Well, another of many, many South Park, you know, little homages to Peanuts. Like, oh, we're just skating and do. And then there's like, you guys got to go see. Why are you playing outside? You got to go see this movie.
Yeah, yes. I saw the Terrence and Philip movie. Who wants to touch me?
I said, who wants to fucking touch me? And that was Butters before. I think that was Butters before we had Butters, right?
Yeah,
Butters was barely
he's in
a
it,
thing.
but like, yeah, he becomes such a big part of the show. But here,
it's odd to go back to South Park Media before Butters and Randy Marsh were such a huge part of the show.
Yeah.
Yep. And just like, The Simpsons, they've got this huge cast of characters, and they do a pretty good job of getting most of the main ones into the movie. It's like all your favorite little side characters. So
yeah.
And we get sort of a song. It's not on the soundtrack. They sort of do this every once in a while, which is the Girl That I Like.
This is the girl that I like. Yeah.
Before Stan just barfs in her face.
The immediate barfing too is always cracked me up. Like there was no reaction time between her saying something and him immediately barfing. Hi, Stan.
And then her saying ew. Yeah.
Not even
Stan. Blah,
right.
Ew.
Not enough time to register for that to happen. But so great.
And there's the at the pond. Wendy's with the transfer student from Yardale, and he's when they're all done, he's like, "Come, Wendy, let us jump the hilly brush."
Like talking of memories past.
Yeah,
right, he's out of an Austen novel.
Yeah, he's great.
So we get to the school. Everyone is singing Uncle Fucker, and we're with Mr. Garrison and Mr. Hat for a minute as he starts to try and get the class to answer some math questions, and Cartman just asked him how would he like to suck his balls through a megaphone.
Yeah, and then everybody says "fuck" one at a time until all four of them have said it. Kenny saying it just to be with his friends, just to get it out there.
Well, one thing I love about this is that they do, again, hit this theme of like adults are seizing on the wrong thing, because Kyle says something and Cartman's response is like, "You fucking Jew." And then someone says, "You can't say fuck." No one has called him on the racism.
Right.
Just the F word.
That's what they say. They say, you said the F word, and Cartman goes, "Jew?"
Right. Right.
Also, can we point out that like the cursing that they do after seeing the movie is so worse than the cursing we've heard in the movie? Like nothing, like everything they said was so far beyond what the cursing was in the Terrence and Phillip movie in Asses of Fire.
Yeah.
Like with the little bit that we heard had a lot of cursing, but then they go off and their cursing is so much more eloquent and like just insane.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're sent to go see Mr. Mackey. Okay.
Well, I must say I'm very disappointed in you boys. Okay, you should be ashamed of yourselves. Now, I've already called in your mothers.
You called my mom?
That's right.
Oh, no, dude. Mr. Mackey, can I ask a question?
Okay, what?
What's the big fucking deal, bitch? Yeah.
Now I want to know where you heard these horrific obscenities, okay?
Nowhere. We heard them from Mr. Garrison a few times before. Yeah.
Boys, I seriously doubt that Mr. Garrison ever said, "Eat penguin shit, you ass spelunker."
Sweet. Uh-oh.
Thank you all for coming on such short notice.
This just isn't like you, Stanley. What did my son say, Mr. Mackey? Did he say the S word?
No, it was worse than that.
The F word?
Well, here's a short list of the things they've been saying, okay?
Oh, dear God. What the heck is a rim job?
Oh, why, that's when you put your legs behind your head and have someone lick your ass.
Young man, you will tell Mr. Mackey this instant where you heard all these horrible phrases.
We can't tell you. We all took a sacred oath and swore ourselves to secrecy. It was the Terrence and Phillip movie. Dude, what? Fuck you guys. I want to get out of here.
Terrence and Phillip? Those Canadians?
Excuse me, what the heck is Terrence and Phillip?
Terrence and Phillip are two very untalented actors from Canada. Nothing but foul language and toilet humor.
Well, I guess I'll have to send a warning letter out to parents before more children see Terrence and Phillip.
Everybody's fucking seen it.
Eric!
I'm sorry, I can't help myself. That movie has warped my fragile little mind.
And they ask him what the big fucking deal is when their parents are summoned into the room. And he gives them the short list of what they've been saying, including rim job.
Which Cartman's mom has to explain for everybody. And it's very funny.
Yes.
The way she delivers all her lines, like, it's so matter of fact, like, you don't know this? Like,
yeah.
Well, at this point, I mean, did we know Cartman's dad was an entire football team?
That his mom was his dad?
Yeah, I mean, the mom was his dad.
No, we didn't know it was football team yet. We still thought it was hermaphrodite at that point.
Right.
I don't even know the canonicity of that. I know they kept fucking with, like, I know they did think like, who's Cartman's dad? And it turns out it's his mom because she had gender reassignment surgery.
Yeah.
They kept kind of changing it around.
Yeah, they changed it again a few seasons later where they like retconned it like that. You didn't buy that bullshit story, did you? You know, turn up be the whole Denver Bronco football team.
Mm-hmm. Right. But Cartman spills the beans on where all the curse words came from. He just wants to get out of there. He doesn't want to drag this out.
Yeah.
And as he said, that line, that movie has worked my fragile little mind. And like that line was in like every trailer, every commercial.
Right.
Because they could say it. It has no curse words in it.
Yeah. When I was a DJ on my college radio station, and we had a lot of like little stings that were pop culture, things, and that was one of the most used ones. Was it is what my fragile little mind? Like we just like hit that on different promos and stuff.
Yeah. So we go to the cafeteria. We get a reprise of The Girl That I Like, and Stan barfs again. And the kids go to kind of standard thing from the show. They go to get some advice from Chef Isaac Hayes.
Hello there, children.
Hey, Chef.
How's it going?
Bad.
Why bad?
We got busted for swearing. Our mom said we can't ever see the Terrence and Phillip movie again.
Oh, that's too bad.
You should have seen Kyle when his mom showed up. He was scared out of his mind.
Shut up, Cartman.
No, dude, I'd be scared too. Your mom's a fucking bitch.
Don't call my mom a bitch, you fat fuck.
Don't call me fat, you butt fucking son of a bitch.
Whoa, children. Why did you learn to talk like that?
It's pretty fucking sweet, huh?
Chef, how do you make a woman like you more than any other guy?
Oh, that's easy. You just gotta find the clitoris.
Huh?
Oops.
What does that mean, find the clitoris?
Forget I said anything. Move along, children. You're holding up the line.
You guys, do you know where I can find the clitoris?
The what?
What, is that like finding Jesus or something?
Hello, children.
I like the he goes and asks Chef, how do I get the girl to like me? And he goes, oh, that's easy, you just got to find the clitoris. And he goes, what? And Chef's like, never mind, I said that, move along, children, you're holding up the line.
Well, again, like with the efficiency of the writing, they're so good about like using stuff later or setting things up for later. So the clitoris thing becomes a huge thing throughout the movie. And then Kyle starts calling, Cartman calls Kyle's mom a bitch. And he goes, don't call my mom a bitch. And that will pay off in a song reprise, I should say, later. And we find out that there's a new dress code that no one can wear any Terrence and Phillip shirts. And everyone who's wearing one has to go home, which means virtually everyone goes home.
Except for the new kid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, except for
and Wendy
who didn't go see the movie yet.
Yep. And so we get a news report about how everyone all over America, all the children are being influenced by this. We've got the spelling bee where the kid, mouths off. We get the rap version of Uncle Fucker.
Yeah.
The MTV version of it.
I told you that we won't stop. And I told you that we won't stop. Yeah.
And then we get Sheila versus the Canadian Minister of Movies on the news.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
The controversy began in the small mountain town of South Park, where the local PTA is trying to ban the movie. With us tonight is the head of the PTA, Sheila Broflovsky.
Hello, Tom.
And the Canadian Minister of Movies.
Thanks for having me, buddy.
Minister, parents are concerned about your country's entertainment. Your thoughts?
Well, the film is R-rated, and it's not intended for children.
But of course children are going to see it.
Can I finish? The fact is that we Canadians are quite surprised by your outrage.
You just don't care.
Can I finish? Hello, can I finish? The United States has graphic violence on television all the time. We can't believe that a movie with some foul language would piss you off so much.
Because it's evil.
Can I finish? Please, can I finish? Okay, I'm finished.
But, Mr. Minister, it isn't like this film is the first troublesome thing to come out of Canada. Let us not forget Bryan Adams.
No, the Canadian government has apologized for Bryan Adams on several occasions.
You Canadians are all the same, with your beady little eyes and flapping heads. You're trash.
I resent that. I find that racist.
Our children are now addicted to
your
your
film. You are racist, ma'am. You are racist.
It is going to take us weeks to erase the damage this film has done to our children.
Can I finish? Can I finish?
Yeah, that is one of the
Okay, I'm finished.
One of the quotes from this movie that like my friend group from high school and I have continued to do to this day. Anytime we're in some kind of voice call or something, someone's going to bust that out when they get interrupted, and it's great.
That's great.
Okay, I'm finished now.
Okay, I'm finished.
Okay, I'm finished.
The Canadian government has apologized for Bryan Adams on many occasions. Yeah. That's great. I love that. But also, again, like he slips in, the minister slips in like, hey, there's like horrible violence on TV all the time.
Right.
No one cares about that. Again, hitting the theme of the movie pretty hard.
And she actually calls it evil,
kids...
right? She says the movie is evil, like the foul language is evil.
Yeah.
Right. And he says, it's R-rated. It's not intended for children. So,
yeah.
So we go to rehab with Mr. Mackey. And we get It's Easy, okay.
Step one.
Instead of I say bun.
Why kiss my bun?
Or your bun's hard.
Step two.
Says shit, say poo.
As in bull poo.
And this poo is cold.
worst word that you can say. Fuck is the worst word that you can say. We shouldn't say fuck, no, we shouldn't say fuck, no.
You're cured, you can go. You don't have to your life, shooting up in the trains. If the police on the streets giving hands out for cash. All this plan, and very soon you will say, it's easy and good. It's easy and good. It's easy and good.
I think personally, like I don't dislike any, but if I had to rank all the songs my favorite, this is probably like the weakest like actual full song. Like I like it, it's fine, but like it's never like I want to put that on and just listen to it.
I like how there's a bunch of songs in this movie, like in the story, people are learning about what's going on at the beginning of the song, and then by the time they hit like the second verse of the song, they have the big chorus and everything going on. And that happens in this song too, where the kids are learning the word replacement method or whatever. And then by the second verse, everyone's doing it together. They're all on board. And there's a couple songs in this movie that do that exact thing. When people didn't know what was going on before the song started, the way South Park does it is always just so funny to me, with, kids singing and dancing and stuff in the background.
Yeah. To me, this felt like an homage to probably Julie Andrews movie, but
Mary Poppins or Sound of Music?
Yeah, this felt like a Mary Poppins kind of thing of like we're teaching the children to kind of all sing this together. Kind of.
Yeah, it's a little Doe a Deer. I see that from Sound of Music. Yeah. This also probably has some of the most elaborate choreography of any of the songs in the movie, which is, considering what they're doing with these like construction paper kind of designs, it's fairly impressive. The other thing I wanted to ask you guys, because so when you listen to Mr. Mackey talk, that whole like voice, I 1,000% believe that this is someone Trey Parker knew in real life. Like this was his high school guidance counselor that he's doing. But it kind of resonates. Like, did you guys have any like people at your school or in the administration who talked like this? Because I feel like everyone had one.
We had not MK, but we had a guy with an accent, and he would pronounce, and I don't know where, but he would pronounce Washington as Washington. And we had a girl in class who would always be like, "So are you going to Washington this weekend?" and she kept trying to get him to stop, which of course just made her do it more.
Rich, any teachers?
I mean, we definitely had like administrators and teachers and stuff with different like weird ways of talking. Not the specific one, but I mean, we would absolutely like wholly make fun of different people for their whatever speech affectations. 100%.
Yeah, I had a math teacher in junior high named Mr. Lobo. And Mr. Lobo kind of talked like Mr. Mackey. And he would do this thing where he would just go like, instead of saying like, aha, or like, yes, you got that right, it would be something like, and then, you multiply it out. And he would keep doing that. He would also like always talk about a pain in my elbow. He would never say like a pain in my neck. He would, or my, he'd refer to elbows a lot. But like he had a fairly similar voice to Mr. Mackey, and it's just one of those things that always strikes me as funny. Of like, oh, you have an accent that is not a recognized accent. Like, there's no country where people all talk like you. Right. I don't know where this comes from. All right, so they're given the rest of the afternoon off for personal reflection, which of course means they all go straight back to see Terrence and Phillip again.
But now the whole school is there, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Including Damien.
Yes.
Damien's in the audience watching.
I had forgotten about that character. He's like the son of the devil, right? Like just sort of like the Omen,
or the Antichrist. Yeah, I mean it's the Damien's a name from the movie The Omen, and yeah, I think he's supposed to be the Antichrist, but he's forgotten in this movie, even though Satan's in it, except for that one little moment where he's in the movie theater watching.
Yeah.
That's cool. Good catch. So Terrence kills himself at the end of the movie by lighting a fart, and the kids walk out. Cartman bets Kenny he can't do it, to which he then proves that, yes, you can.
You can. There are consequences.
He lights himself on fire, and an ambulance comes, and then a salt truck pushes the ambulance out of the way and dumps salt on him.
Yeah.
While Cartman's like hitting him with a flaming stick.
Yeah.
The stick is on fire. Yeah.
And then we get
then
we get George Clooney.
Load that IV with 70 cc's of sodium pentothal.
We just called the parents. Oh, shit, dude. Now our mom's gonna find out we went to the Terrence and Phillip movie again.
Vacuum. Try to untangle his trachea and esophagus.
Dude!
No, that doesn't go there.
Gross, Stan. That's sick. Watch his liver.
We have precious little time left, people. We're gonna lose him soon.
Doctor, his heart stopped.
Let's get it out of there. We need to zap this, quick. Who's making a potato?
My bad, sir. I missed lunch.
Damn it, I'm not gonna lose this kid. Close him up. We've done all we can. The rest is up to God. Kenny? Kenny, can you hear me?
Shit, dude.
How are you feeling, son? Great. Son, I have some bad news. We accidentally replaced your heart with a baked potato. You have about 3 seconds to live.
Ah, fucking weak, dude. Oh my god, they killed Kenny. You bastards!
Damn it! It never gets any easier!
One of my favorite scenes in the movie that's not song related is this this operating room scene with George Clooney and sorry son, we accidentally replaced your heart with a potato. You have 3 seconds to live.
Yeah, so great.
Yeah.
I also like.
I also love the like. Go ahead.
In the ER moment right before then, there's some guy like just in the background going ah, like
yeah,
like organs.
Just flailing around.
No, that doesn't go there.
Yeah, exactly. You could hear like just people yelling, no, that doesn't go there.
I'm guessing everyone here knows why George Clooney was the voice in this, right? But I'll tell for any listeners. So George Clooney is the reason why South Park became a thing to begin with, because they'd made the pilot, not even the pilot, they'd made Spirit of Christmas as a short. And, you know, in pre-internet days, you couldn't go viral. That wasn't a thing. So George Clooney found like a tape of this, loved it so much that he spent hours making copies of the tape in an old VHS to VHS kind of way and distributed them to people as gifts. Like, you got to see this. It's really funny. So like, and that wound up leading to meetings and different things. And, you know, because of that, they were like, oh, we got to put him in the movie.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't. I mean, I knew he did that. I didn't know that's why that makes sense. But it wasn't. Yeah. It wasn't his first time being a voice on South Park.
Nope.
Right.
Nope. He's the dog. The gay dog.
Yeah, gay dog.
Yeah.
But also an obvious reference, of course, to his famous role as Dr. Doug Ross on ER.
Yeah.
Which, what's cool about that story, Rich, is like we think of George Clooney now as like he's one of the biggest, most powerful people in Hollywood, but that wasn't true in 1997. I mean, he was doing well. He was on a hit show, but you know, there's a million people that have been on hit shows for, you know, he wasn't more powerful than like, I don't know, the cast of Friends at this point or Jerry Seinfeld, right? He was just a popular TV actor and he made this happen out of just sheer will.
So, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to point out that, and this is we're going on a tangent here, but this was not ER was not the first time George Clooney was on a show called ER. Back in the 80s, there was a sitcom called ER with a slash between the E and the R, E/R. And it was also about an emergency room with Elliot Gould and Mary McDonnell as the main doctors, and George Clooney was in that show, so he got to be in 2 shows called ER.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I did not know.
And Return of the Killer Tomatoes.
Yep. That's a real career.
That is worth your time if you've seen it. All right. So yes, we get our famous line, "You killed Kenny," actually for the second time, because they said it the first time before he actually died.
Yeah.
And so the kids are bickering with the parents who've shown up, and the kids are told that they're grounded. But this sort of fades into Kenny floating up into the afterlife to see heaven, which is basically just a bunch of gigantic women with huge tits, sort of like shades of that Heavy Metal cartoon. Yes. He pushes the button to enter, and he is not allowed in, as his mom warned.
Little boy at peace, what is this place? Beyond the stars, open up your eyes. What are these things you're moving toward? Head so full of wonder, worries in the past. Could it be that you are free at last? No!
Little boy, you're going to hell. You said bad words for rocks in the buzz, and now this is your tale. You ain't going back, the things they lay out of hell. Little boy, time for you to pay. Hurting that bird and not going to church and staring at bull every day. Thought you were unbad, instead you're in hell. The hell isn't good.
wickedness in the universe.
Helen good, hell.
And we get a song that was not on the soundtrack, I believe, for some sort of weird copyright type reasons or like contractual shit. There's like some reason it didn't end up on the soundtrack. I think it had to do with like Metallica and their soundtrack, because the song is sung, Hell Isn't Good. It's sung by
James
Hetfield. And I think there was some weird thing about James Hetfield wasn't allowed to record something because it wasn't on his label that he was stuck with. And so they weren't allowed to put this on the like CD they released of the South Park film soundtrack. But it's a cool song.
Yeah, they also denied that it was him for a very long time. Like, there was a long time where James Hetfield would not admit that it was him in there. And it's only like semi-recently, and I'm using the term recently pretty loosely here, but they did finally admit that it was him. But everybody who, knows Metallica was like, yeah, that's him for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I'd buy it could be Trey Parker. He can do a voice that's pretty similar to this. Just to sort of talk about Trey Parker's voice for a second, because I know we've got two voice actors here. Like you think of like Mel Blanc, who's like, the man of 1,000 voices, and like Trey Parker is like the man of one voice, and yet somehow they're all different. It's kind of this weird magic trick that he's able to like differentiate all these characters despite them all sounding fairly just like, I'm Trey Parker, I'm doing a voice.
Yeah.
They're all kind of that. But he does metal type singing. He can sound like James Hetfield when he wants.
Oh yeah, he can do it. Yeah, he can do lots of voices.
Mm-hmm.
I love the like descent into hell too.
Yeah. There's a bunch of like quick little gags of people that are in hell as he goes down there. Like Gandhi's in hell.
George Burns.
George Burns.
Yeah.
Before we keep moving forward, there's still one part. There's one part I want to go back to the doctor. When he says that great line of "Damn it never gets any easier," and then he immediately like the 180, and he starts whistling the intro song to the movie. The song that Stan is singing at the very beginning of the movie. That's what he's whistling as he walks out of the room, which I always thought was nice.
Nice.
Yep. Kennedy is deposited in the bowels of hell, and we cut to a PTA meeting where Sheila Broflovsky, Kyle's mom, says we have to fight the source of all of this profanity, and we get to the Academy Award nominated Blame Canada.
We must stop dirty language from getting to our children's ears. We must go fight the source of it. But what is the source? Oh, that's easy. Times have changed. Our kids are getting worse. They won't obey their parents. They just want to fart and curse.
Should we blame the government or blame society?
Or should we blame the images on TV?
No, blame Canada. Blame Canada. For their beady little eyes and flapping heads so full of lies. Blame Canada. Blame Canada. We need to form a full assault.
Don't blame me for my son Stan. He saw the darn cartoon and now he's off to join the clan. And my boy Eric once had my picture on his shelf, but now when I see him it tells me to fuck myself.
Well, blame Canada. Blame Canada. It seems that everything's gone wrong since Canada came along. Blame Canada. Blame Canada.
They're not even a real country anyway.
Mm-hmm. Because he probably couldn't nominate a different one.
That's everything that I've ever heard, is that they nominated this particular song because it was the only one that you could show at the Academy Awards. Like any of the others, you'd have to bleep out too much.
Because it's not the best song by far. To me, it's
I don't think
way on the bottom of the list.
Yeah.
It is funny though. They're not even a real country anyway.
Yeah.
And do you remember who performed it at the Academy Awards? Because they always do the thing where they perform all the songs.
Jason Alexander, right?
Robin Williams.
Was it
Robin Williams?
I'm totally wrong then.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Robin Williams did it. He sold the hell out of that performance too. I remember watching it and just being like, yeah.
Did not win though. Famously, it lost to Phil Collins's "You'll Be in My Heart" from Disney's Tarzan, which they lampooned him for pretty damn hard on the show the next year.
Oh, that makes sense.
Oh,
I didn't know that backstory, but I'm Phil fucking Collins. That makes more sense.
Yeah, that makes. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Yeah, because it's not like even like an impression of Phil Collins when they do it. It's just like, I'm Phil Collins. You just make it sound like as stupid as humanly possible.
I threw in a little bit of South Park's Russell Crowe in in that impression of Phil Collins there.
Yep. But again, like this song probably more than any of the others lays out again the thesis of the movie, and I just love that it's like the last line is like, you know, we have to do all this stuff before somebody thinks of blaming us.
Yeah.
Right. So we get Shelley babysitting the kids. Stan asks her where the clitoris is, to which she just punches him or throws a shoe at him. I forget what she does.
She hits him with a chair. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. And so they watch Conan O'Brien interview Terrence and Phillip, where it is a trap. They are arrested, and Conan throws himself to his death.
Our next guests have the #1 movie in the world right now. Please welcome Terrence and Phillip.
Hello, Conan. Hello, Brooke Shields.
Guys, some people claim that your Canadian humor is nothing but immature fart jokes.
That's not true. Take this classic Canadian joke, for instance. Excuse me, Terrence. Yes, Phillip? Good one, Phillip. Cheers. Cheers, fuckface.
Guys, you can't say that on TV.
Now Terrence smells like my ass.
I farted once on the set of Blue Lagoon.
So, guys, does it make you nervous to be in America? There are a lot of organizations here that want you arrested for destroying children.
Oh, they'd have to find us first.
You're right. Now!
Terrence and Phillip, Mothers Against Canada is placing you under citizen's arrest.
Mom? Dude, what the hell's going on?
We have a court order for your arrest.
Phillip, we've been ambushed.
Here you go, Conan.
This little scrotum sucker deceived us. You are a bad man.
Don't listen to them, Conan.
You loved our movie, Conan. We watched it together, remember? You laughed.
What have I done?
Conan voiced by Brent Spiner.
Yes. And apparently Conan, like, didn't know, and then after the movie came out, he's like, I would have done it.
Yeah. This is one of my favorite, like, low-key scenes that no one ever talks about, is this scene with Conan where they're taking him away, and one of Terrence or Phillip turns to him and is like, but we watched the movie together, Conan. We laughed. And he's like, oh, what have I done? And then he jumps out the window.
Yeah, it's a great moment.
So I just learned this in researching for this episode that that was not the original script, that he shot himself in the head in the script, and that the MPAA said they weren't cool with that because Columbine had just happened like a year before. And so they said, all right, so we'll switch it to this. And again, like the Uncle Fucker thing, like it was like, oh, this is actually pretty funnier because the guy like, doot, doot, with the car after he does it. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the moment where Brooke Shields, who's a guest on the Conan show, is trying to get in on it, and she goes, "I farted once on the set of Blue Lagoon," and then just with the right timing, she gets slapped by Terrence and Phil.
Yeah,
yeah. That's they so rarely use patience for comedy here, but I love that they let that sit just long enough before he slaps her.
Yeah,
it's very funny.
This is like, I'm just going to take this time to do like my tight 30 seconds about why this is my favorite era of South Park, because this movie has celebrity cameos and like making fun of certain celebrities like Winona Ryder later and stuff like that too. But they're in there as just little jokes along the way. There's nothing about this movie that's about a particular celebrity, and that's a direction that the show took that I started to just get tired of. Whereas this early era is just about 4 kids getting into mischief. Their parents are idiots. The people in the town are idiots. And then, boom, stories unfold from there. And then, like, a celebrity here, a celebrity here. And that's exactly how this movie is, too. It's why I love the South Park RPGs so much, because they're the same thing.
Yeah.
So there that is. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So we're at the UN. The Canadian ambassador tries to explain how their economy is reliant on Terrence and Phillip.
That's what it's all about.
Yes, the US tells them to go fuck themselves. And yes, then we get all the jokes about it's all a boot.
Fuck Canada!
Hey, fuck you, buddy!
Terrence and Phillip will not be released. They are going to be put on trial for corrupting America's youth. We don't know what all the fuss is about.
The fuss is about taking our citizens. It's about not censoring our art. It's about... What's so goddamn funny?
Nothing. Could you tell us again what your argument is all about?
This is not about diplomacy. This is about dignity. This is about respect. This is about realizing that humor is... You guys are dicks. Release Terrence and Phillip, or we'll give you something to cry about.
And at that point, the Canadian Air Force bombs the Baldwins.
Oh, not the Baldwins.
Who voiced the Baldwin brothers? Anyone know?
I remember I read it before and I've forgotten it. So go ahead.
Dave Foley.
Oh,
that's right.
That's
yeah.
Yeah, they get a couple of sketch. We'll have Eric Idle in a little bit too, just to like get these like great sketch comedians in there.
Yep, and then we'll get Mike Judge too.
That's right. So we're back in class. The kids are trying to find out why Terrence and Phillip was arrested, and Mr. Garrison says, "I don't trust anything that bleeds for 5 days and doesn't die."
That has been said so many times after that movie, and I don't know if the joke existed before the movie, but I know that it's been said. I've heard it so many times after. I've always assumed that they came up with that line, but I've heard it so.
Couldn't swear by it either way.
Yeah.
Funny line either way.
Yep. And this leads to an assembly at the gym where the kids all watch an announcement from President Clinton that the U.S. has declared war on Canada, which he is basically shoved aside by the new Secretary of Offense, Sheila Broflovsky.
Mm-hmm.
And we learn that in 2 days, Terrence and Phillip will be executed.
Is this when they have the join the war effort recruitment commercial? Is it
That's
right
coming.
after this scene? It's coming later.
It's a few scenes from now. Yeah.
Okay.
Stupid piece of random ass trivia, but Bill Clinton is used in a couple South Park episodes too. But in this one, he signs the document with his right hand, and apparently Bill Clinton was left-handed. I just saw this on a YouTube video. I was like, oh, random.
That doesn't seem like a detail that Trey Parker and Matt Stone would be too worried about.
No, they don't give a shit. It's just it's just funny.
So Kenny's in hell, and we see he meets Satan, who menaces him briefly before Saddam comes in.
Fallen one, I am Satan. I am your god now. There is no escape. Now, feel the delightful pain.
Hey, Satan! Did you hear the news? A war just broke out up on Earth.
Meet Saddam Hussein, my new partner in evil.
Whoop! Move over, Satan. You're hogging all the fun. Yeah, man, this is getting me so hot.
Saddam, would you let me do my job, please?
Come on, rub my nipples while I torture this little piggy.
Saddam, could I talk to you over here for a second? I don't see why you have to belittle me in front of people like that.
Hey, relax, guy.
Well, sometimes I think you don't have any respect for me.
Come here, guy. Who's my cream puff?
I am.
That's right, baby.
And we just get kind of a glimpse into their bickering, abusive relationship, or at least it's abusive in one direction from Saddam to Satan.
Yeah. The portrayal of Satan in this movie and like on South Park in general, but like specifically this movie is very funny to me as just this very sensitive, caring person wants to sit down with Saddam and talk about his feelings and everything like that. It made me laugh so much. And like I didn't think too hard about this, so I'm not going to think too hard about it now. But Satan's song might be my favorite one in the movie.
It's a great
my
song.
favorite one.
Such a great song.
Yeah.
Up there,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's so beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll get to that one. But one thing I wanted to point out here, I just love the choice, and I know they had him on the show before this, I think, but they have so many celebrities on here, but they're all in the South Park design, and so I love the choice here to make Saddam Hussein's character out of photographs of the real Saddam.
Yeah,
it adds such a funny thing because his face is so stiff and like kind of flapping around.
Yeah,
in a way the other characters aren't.
Yeah, and do you remember that website was really popular for a minute back in the day, Jib Jab? They had that same convention of taking a photo and then just kind of cutting it in half and making it like a mouth. I'm assuming they were inspired by this.
I mean, we talked about Monty Python, Rich, on a prior episode.
Oh, yeah, they
the
also
Terry
did,
Gilliam
of course,
animations
Terry
do
Gilliam,
stuff
sure.
like this as well, going much farther back. But like here, those are all just sort of these surreal things that don't make a whole lot of sense. This is like we're still trying to get across a character, but they're still able to get across really funny jokes with him. Like I think the voice Matt Stone does for Saddam is really funny as well. And so like all of his stuff just makes me laugh in the movie. Like he's such a great addition to the cast.
Yeah. Although if you wait to watch the credits, they put in there that Saddam Hussein played himself.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah, that's great.
of course. So we go to the playground. There's like fighter jets now. Shit's getting real. And Kyle is told again he needs to stand up to his mom. The kids ask, what would Brian Boitano do? Setting us up for a song later, but also referencing back to The Spirit of Christmas, where Brian Boitano was a big factor in that.
Oh, I'd forgotten about that. Good call.
And I hadn't seen Spirit of Christmas at this point, so I thought it was just the most random line in the world. It's just like, all right,
which kind of
cool.
makes it brilliant when you think it's random.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it was random to have him in Spirit of Christmas. It was,
Sure.
But it's a great, callback to that. So Gregory and Wendy are trying to recruit for their political effort, and this leads to the reprise. I'll call it a reprise because this song had already appeared in the show, but Kyle's mom is a bitch.
Come on, you all know the word. Have you ever met my friend Kyle's mom? She's the biggest bitch in the whole wide world. To me, no bitch, and she has stupid hair. She's a bitch, 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 bitch. Bitch, 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 bitch. She's a stupid bitch. Kyle's mom's a bitch, and she's just a dirty bitch. Talk to kids around the world, it might go a little bit something like this.
Mama, you're having one.
You ever met my friend Kyle's mom? She's the biggest bitch in the whole wide world. She's a mean old bitch, and she has stupid hair. She's a bitch, 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 bitch. Bitch, 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 bitch. She's a stupid bitch. Kyle's mom's a bitch, and she's just a dirty bitch. I really mean Kyle's mom. She's a big, fat, fucking bitch. Big old fat fucking bitch, Kyle's mom, yeah. What? Fuck.
Yeah. But bigger and better. The song is bigger and better than the original version we've heard.
Yes. Goes
They add
international.
the kids around the world stuff.
Right.
Yeah. And then ends on a very jazzy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
With
the timing on that's good.
With the mom right there behind him. Yeah.
Right.
Yep. So this leads to Eric Idle and the meeting about the V chip, and Cartman. Do you guys remember when the V chip was a big deal back in the 90s?
Oh yes.
Yeah, they were going to add it. Did they add it? Did it?
They added it to some TVs, I assume.
Yeah.
It did
I don't
not
know
take
anyone
off.
who owned a TV with a V chip in it.
Yeah, it did not take off.
Yeah, I didn't know anyone.
Shockingly.
Who had one. Yeah.
The funny thing is now TVs all functionally have this because you can set parental controls on your Netflix or whatever subscription.
Right. Now that everything's smart enough,
they won in the end.
Yeah.
But that's what this does. Like it was in real life. It was a chip that would be in your TV that would, I don't know if it would like block programming or it would know to like bleep swear words or what it actually did. But it was some way of controlling the content so kids wouldn't see inappropriate stuff.
Yeah. I think if a bad show came on that was above a certain rating or whatever, it would just show you a static screen or something like not content blocked or something like that.
But what this does is it electrocutes Cartman anytime he tries to say a swear word, such as horse fucker.
Yeah.
I love here too. So they go through, they're demonstrating this. So they okay, say doggy. And he has a little card with a picture of a dog and it says doggy. They do doggy and they do Montana. And there's one other thing. And then they're like, say horse fucker. And it has a picture of a guy fucking a horse on the little card there. I always thought that was a fun gag.
Yep.
Gotta have visuals.
Yep.
Yeah, someone went to the printers with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is where, Dave, we get the thing you had mentioned before, which is the March of War.
Marcus Mouse presents the March of War. Let's hear it for our boys in blue. President Clinton has called them to action to fight the evil Canadian scourge. A full-scale attack has been launched on Toronto after the Canadians' last bombing, which took a horrible toll on the Arquette family. For security measures, our great American government is rounding up all citizens that have any Canadian blood and putting them into camps. All Canadian-American citizens are to report to one of these death camps right away. Did I say death camps? I meant happy camps, where you will eat the finest meals, have access to fabulous doctors, and be able to exercise regularly. Meanwhile, the war criminals Terrence and Philip are prepped for their execution. Their execution will take place during a fabulous USO show with special guest celebrities, including Big Gay Al and Winona Ryder. Of course, the only way to see the USO show is to sign up for the Army. So join the Army and kill some Canadian scum as we continue the March of War. Eat Snacky Spawn.
Oh my God, I love this so much.
great.
Did I say death camps? I meant happy camps.
And this is where we're told the Arquettes have been bombed.
Eat Snacky S'mores. Eat Snacky.
Yeah, eat snacky s'mores. Yeah, the March of War, brought to you by Snacky S'mores. Yeah, I love the news report you just mentioned there, where they're like, after Canada's last bombing, which took a horrible toll on the Arquette residents.
Yeah.
Yes. I love this idea. They're only bombing celebrities that have like sibling groups.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess the Murrays are next. Although are they Canadian? Is Bill Murray and his
the
brother?
the Helmsworths. I don't know. If they did it today.
Back in the day.
The
and we're
Olsens.
told that there's going to be this.
Sorry,
The Olsens. They would have bombed the Olsens.
They would have
the
bombed
Olsens,
they would
yeah.
have bombed the Olsens.
And there's going to be a USO show that will feature celebrities, including Big Gay Al and Winona Ryder, and the execution of Terrence and Philip.
Yeah.
I like that we get Big Gay Al here because, like, we end up losing him in the show. You know, there's a lot of characters that have been dropped over the years, so it's nice that, like, he's such a big part of this movie.
Yeah.
And Dave, I can't remember. Is he in Stick of Truth? I can't remember if he's there.
I don't remember him.
100%.
Because Mr. Slave sure is in it.
Oh, yeah, you go in his ass. No, you go in Mr. Slave's ass. That's right. Yeah. I don't remember Big Gay Al. He might be optional, though.
He's
sort of like
a
Easter
character
egg.
in the game. I think you can go to his house, if I recall.
Probably, yeah.
Do you go in Mr. Slave's ass as Tiddlywinks?
No,
you meet Lemmywinks as part of the story. Yeah,
Lemmywinks. Sorry.
Yeah, but no, you're playing your character the whole time.
Gotcha.
Yeah. There's
douchebag.
It's a whole thing. It's a whole part of the a whole plot point.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have a Canadian burning. People are burning their Alanis Morissette CDs. Cartman is still trying to swear, and he can't. And Kyle gets him to shock himself. The kids have fun with that for a while. And Stan tries to get through to his mom, but they're not listening to him. So they ask, what would Brian Boitano do?
I told you my mom wouldn't listen. Well, then we're just gonna have to save Terrence and Philip ourselves. What? Think about it, you guys. What would Brian Boitano do? He'd figure out a way to rescue Terrence and Philip before they're executed.
We can't do anything. Our mom's organization is too strong.
Well, then we'll round up all the grounded kids in town and start our own organization. An organization to help save Terrence and Philip.
Hey, yeah, our own secret club. I guess that could work.
We have to try. What would Brian Boitano do if he was here right now? He'd make a plan and he'd follow through. That's what Brian Boitano do.
When Brian Boitano was in the Olympics skating for the gold, he did 2 style cows and a triple Lutz while wearing a blindfold.
When Brian Boitano was in the Alps fighting grizzly bears, he used his magical fire breath and saved the maidens there. So what would Brian Boitano do if he were here today? I'm sure he'd kick an ass or two. That's what Brian Boitano do.
I want this feature out of me. It has stunted my vocabulary. And I just want my mom to stop fighting everyone.
For Wendy, I'll be an activist too, cause that's what Brian Boitano would do. And what would Brian Boitano do? He'd call the kids in town and tell them to unite for truth. That's what Brian Boitano do.
Someone say my name?
Who are you?
I'm Brian Dennehy.
What? No, not fucking Brian Dennehy.
Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, bye.
I just gotta say, I have never seen, would you say, The Spirit of Christmas?
Yeah.
Never seen it. I obviously didn't know who Brian Boitano was outside of the context of that. So this was extremely random to me when I watched this at like age 12 or whatever. But this taught me who Brian Boitano is, and I will never forget it.
Same.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I've sang this song at karaoke before. Like, I love this song.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we watched ice skating in our house. Not so much me, but like my mom, like especially when the Olympics were on. So I had an idea of who he was. The song still works either way. It's really funny. It's weird. My favorite gag in it is that Brian Dennehy shows up by accident.
Yeah.
Great.
No, we didn't ask for Brian fucking Dennehy.
Yeah.
And he's just nice about it. He goes,
okay.
Yeah, okay. And he just leaves.
Yeah, he just wanders off.
That's
Great.
Yeah.
And what, of course, Brian Boitano would do is they decide they're going to get together and try to stop their moms and save the day.
Now, there's a moment in this song when they say, because Brian Boitano doesn't take shit from anybody. And in that moment, Cartman, who cannot swear at the time, is not in the scene.
Oh, nice.
He's not in it. And then as soon as that line is over, he comes in from the side and he rejoins him to start singing again. Which is, I always thought that was a really nice moment.
Tight screenplay.
So we go to Kenny in hell as he watches Saddam and Satan kind of hang out in bed. And this is where they bring out a South Park staple, which is whatever the fuck is going on is some sort of doomsday prophecy.
Yeah.
Right.
Everything in South Park is the end of the world.
Yeah.
I like the prophecy that he talks about starts out very general, like the fall of an empire, yada, yada, yada.
Comet.
The coming of a comet, and then it's just a picture of Terrence and Phillip on this like ancient stone tablet that's showing the prophecy.
Yep. And the prophecy is that when their blood hits American soil, that will summon Satan to Earth. But Saddam just wants to have sex.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's get
busy.
And I think this might be the part where I had some people start to leave the theater. Is this where he keeps taking out dicks from under the... Are they dildos or are they actual? I thought they were dicks.
Well, they're severed,
they're
so
right.
I assume they're dildos, but who knows?
Okay. I thought they were actual dicks. Learned something new after watching it several times.
Either way, whatever they were, this caused people to leave your theater.
That actually made people leave the theater when I was watching.
That's fair.
That's crazy they got that far before that was too much.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, all right, penises, I'm out.
Yep. Yeah, but they're not real. See?
I'm just kidding, Dad.
Yeah, we should say for people who haven't seen it, these are photos of dicks, like they're cutouts photos. So they're not South Park style construction paper. They just look like real dicks.
Right. I think that's what it was. I think that's what I didn't, check in with them.
Yeah.
I should have.
Hey, why are you guys leaving?
Why are you leaving?
Is
Follow
it the
up
dicks?
with them 25 years later. Hey,
why did you leave?
The South Park movie? Yeah.
Missed a good time. So Kyle's going to use the computer. Stan asks him to search for the clitoris. They get 8 million hits, which leads to them finding a video, a German Scheisse video with Cartman's mom.
Oh, yeah.
Okie dokie.
Okay, we can use my dad's computer to call all the kids together. Wait, before we put a message out, do a search on the word clitoris. Oh, okay. Found 8 million pages with the word clitoris. Wow! I'll just try the first one. You must be 18 to enter this website. Okay. Welcome to German sick fetish video. If you are under 18, do not... Well, okay.
Du hast Scheiße gang.
Dude, it's a lady getting pooed on. Whoa, is it Cartman's mom? Oh, very funny. Hey, it is Cartman's mom.
Essen mein Scheiße.
Alrighty then. Ah, son of a bitch! Get out of here, Ike. You're too young for this stuff. Bullshit. What's she doing now?
Essen Scheiße.
Okie dokie.
Ah!
Es schmeckt gut, ja?
Click it off, dude. Click it off. Dude, what the fuck is wrong with German people?
Another thing that was in the censors, I think it was just like a gangbang or something, and they were like, "Nah, we don't. That's not cool." And they're like, "All right." So they did a German Scheisse video, and they're like, "All right, we'll let that go."
That makes it so much funnier.
Yeah, it's like
so
the
much
censors
worse.
really helped this movie a lot.
Yeah.
Yikes. So Kyle does some hacking gibberish, movie hacking crap.
Which is great.
And
Which is
they-
great. Making fun of kind of like all those movies and TV shows. Mm-hmm. I'll try to reroute the encryptions. I don't even know what that means.
Means nothing.
Right.
So they put out the word to meet at Carl's warehouse, and there will be punch and pie.
Punch and pie.
Punch and pie.
So Cartman gets tucked in at night. Mom, if you were in a German Scheisse video, you'd tell me, right?
You tell me, right?
Yeah.
So
Good
good.
night.
So Katie's
so
ghost
good.
appears, tries to warn him about Satan and Saddam, and which just freaks the fuck out of Cartman.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. The payoff on Kenny's ghost in like, I think it's like the next scene or 2 scenes later makes me laugh every time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What's the payoff?
That it fucks up the plan. Like Cartman doesn't. He's supposed to turn off the power later.
Oh,
and
right. Yeah.
Kenny just scares
Oh,
the shit out
that.
of him and he
That's
runs
right.
away.
Okay. I'm talking about a much smaller joke.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
We'll get to it in
Okay.
a couple scenes.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll get there later. So we go back to hell. Saddam is packing. Satan misses their talks. He's sad that he always wants to do them from behind.
Yeah.
And this leads to him wistfully thinking about what's going on up there.
Sometimes I think, when I look up real high, that there's such a big world up there. I'd like to give it a try. But then I sink, 'cause it's here I'm supposed to stay. But I get so lonely down here. Tell me, why does it have to be that way? Up there is so much room where babies burn and flowers bloom. Everyone dreams I could dream too. Up there, up where the skies are ocean blue, I could be safe and live without a care. Up there, they say I don't belong. I must stay below alone. Because of my beliefs, I'm supposed to stay where evil is sown. But what is evil anyway? Is there reason to the rhyme? Without evil there can be no good, so it must be good to be evil sometime. Up there is so much room where babies burn and flowers bloom. Everyone dreams I can dream too. Up there, up where the skies are ocean blue, I could be safe and live without a care. Live without a care. If only I could live up I want to live up.
Yeah, but before that, you get the great joke. You get your ass is giant and red. Who am I supposed to pretend you are, Liza Minnelli?
Yep.
And I always thought this song, like from the first time I heard it, it reminded me of a song from the Hunchback of Notre Dame Disney movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where he's longing to also be out in the world, amongst everybody. So the fact that they're hitting, like, we mentioned the first song, kind of like Beauty and the Beast. The fact that they hit different styles of musicals it's just fantastic.
Yeah.
The song from Hunchback is called Out There.
Yeah.
there we go.
So up there versus
Yeah.
out there. Yeah. There you go.
There's also a song, I believe, in the Beauty and the Beast stage musical. It's not in the movie, but in the Broadway version, I think there's a song that's fairly similar to this in terms of how it sounds.
Yeah.
Because because Quasimodo doesn't really sound anything. He's not like Satan anyway, but like the Beast is this kind of big hulking thing.
Yeah.
Like that kind of matches as well. So like they're hitting all their influences really well. And I believe the high notes in this are sung by Michael McDonald from
Yes,
the
they
Doomsday
are.
Preppers.
Are they really?
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's very funny because it's a great moment in the song when he goes up into that falsetto. It's so good. Another thing I love about this song is when you get the hoo from like the people in the background, it's the people that are being tortured in hell that are singing along the backing vocals.
That's so great.
It's so good.
That's so great.
Every little detail. It's so good.
Yep.
And then his dreams are like so gay that it's like, it's not just that he wants to be up there. It's like he's on like a gay cruise and he's flying with like a pair of a hang glider that's got the pride flag on it. Like it's very funny that like this is his fantasy of Earth. Definitely one of the best songs in the movie.
Yep. One of my co-hosts on a Top 3 podcast, Aaron, used to do musicals and stuff a long time ago, and he used to audition with this song. This was his pick.
And he could hit those notes? That's impressive.
He could, yeah.
Damn.
Wow.
Yep. Back in the day, he could.
Wow. So we go to the La Resistance meeting.
Sure.
Where there is no punch or pie.
And two
but
kids
Cartman tries to tell Kyle and Stan about his encounter with Kenny's ghost.
Yep. This is the one that I love. Where, this is the one where there's like, I saw him too, Cartman. And he's like, really? He's like, yeah, on the face of every child. And the smile of every baby. And then they laugh at him.
So great. So great.
They laugh at him, but they do take this as gospel. Like, they do believe whatever Kenny told him. So that the message does get through. So after a quick moment with Satan and Saddam, we go back to the meeting, and Gregory and Wendy arrive with the rest of the kids, and Gregory proposes rescuing Terrence and Philip, and Stan, not wanting to be outdone, agrees to do the dangerous part of the mission.
Mm-hmm.
And so from there we go to the Army HQ. We see Ned and Jimbo are excited to be joining, enlisting, and we learn all about Operation Get Behind the Darkies.
Yeah.
Right.
Our sources have told us that the Canadians are preparing for our invasion, so we must use caution. Each battalion has a specific code name and mission. Battalion 5, raise your hands. You will be the all-important first attack wave, which we will call Operation Human Shield.
Hey, wait a minute.
Now keep in mind, Operation Human Shield will suffer heavy losses. Battalion 14... Right, you are Operation Get Behind the Darkies. You will follow Battalion 5 here, and try not to get killed, for God's sake. Are there any questions, men? Yes, soldier.
Have you ever heard of the Emancipation Proclamation?
I don't listen to hip-hop.
You know, talking about Big Gay Al as a character we've kind of lost over the years in South Park. Jimbo and both
Ned.
and Ned, they've been gone for a long time. And so when you rewatch this movie, you're like, oh yeah, these two, which were both a huge part of every early South Park episode.
Yeah, for sure.
I did
think they just ran out of stuff to do.
Oh, yeah, that's also possible. Same thing they did with Officer Bob Brady, who they replaced with, the FBI guys.
The redheaded cop,
right.
yeah.
Right.
They brought Bob Brady back a couple seasons ago in like a big we're bringing him back kind of episode, and so he was featured again. But they acknowledged he hasn't been on in forever.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Jimbo is in Stick of Truth. He runs a gun shop or
absolutely.
something.
Yeah.
100%.
He says the only reason I'm not selling you a gun to this kid in the game is because he's underage. That's the only reason. He's not morally opposed to it or anything.
He goes out of his way to say that in the game.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, it's good.
I love in this scene where Chef asks, "Have you ever heard of the Emancipation Proclamation?" And he goes, "I don't listen to hip hop."
Yeah.
Also, I remember
that's great.
I remember the audience really laughing hard at Windows. Was it 95? Windows 95, and then
98.
And then shooting
Bill Gates.
Yeah, I just remember the audience really laughing at that at the time. It's it doesn't hit anywhere near as hard anymore, but back then that really hit.
The crazy thing is, as you said, Rich, the censors were apparently against Conan shooting himself in the face.
Right.
But shooting Bill Gates in the face, that's fine.
Totally fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Very weird. So we go back to Satan. Oh, I'm sorry. No, we go back to La Resistance, where they sing the song La Resistance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You see the distant flames, they bellow in the night. You fight in all our names for what we know is right. And when you all get shot and cannot carry on, though you die, La Resistance lives on. You may get stabbed in the head with a dagger or a sword. You may be burned to death or skinned alive or worse. But when they torture you, you will not feel the need to run, for though you die, La Resistance lives on.
Rain Canada! Rain Canada! Because the country's gone awry, tomorrow night these freaks will cry!
Tomorrow night, our lives will change. Tomorrow night, we'll be entertained. An execution, what a sight. Tomorrow night.
There's so much room where babies barb and flowers bloom. Tomorrow night up there is doomed, and so I will be going soon.
Shut your fucking face, Uncle Faggot. You're a bona fide bastard, Uncle Faggot. Looks like we may be out of luck. Tomorrow night we're pretty fucked. Why did our mother start this war?
are they fighting for? Will the song become a marathon?
When Canada is dead and gone, there'll be no more Celine Dion.
Then I cut your dick in half and serve it to a pig. And then I catch your laugh and dance a dickless jig. But that's the way it goes. In world of shat upon, though we die. La resistance lives on.
Which is clearly Les Mis inspired.
Right.
Oh yeah, no, they've got the red and black flag. This is basically One Day More, which is kind of comes in the same point in the story in Les Mis, but you've got all of it's a medley of all the other songs you've heard before,
right?
Kind of put together. So yeah,
and it's very good.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's fantastic. And even Terrence and Philip start singing, and they're singing to the tune of. Again, the opening number.
Well, they're also doing Uncle Fucker too, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
So I guess it's the kids. Why did our mother start this war? Yeah. They're doing it to the tune of the first one. Yep.
And there's kind of an element of the, if you remember the Brave Sir Robin bit from Holy Grail, where the guys like saying, they'll, just saying about all the abuse that Sir Robin is going to suffer in that movie. Here you get the thing about like, they may cut your dick in half and serve it to a pig. Yep. And like, you will see all the looks on the kids' faces like, what do we sign up for?
Yep. La resistance live on.
Oh, and before the song though, Gregory tells the kids they're going to have to go talk to the mole. Who we'll meet soon.
Yep.
So we go back to hell again. They're in bed again. This is where we get all the dicks.
Oh, that's where we get the dicks.
Okay. Oh, this is it. Okay.
This is I have it in my notes.
I'm sorry,
dicks.
I got ahead.
That means the people who left your theater left it even later in the movie.
Right. Yeah, exactly. There's like 15 minutes left in the movie.
Nope, dicks. I'm out.
Yeah. So Kenny tries to comfort Satan. You tell him to buck up and that he should leave Saddam. And we go to marching troops, and Kyle hides Ike in the attic, setting up I believe there's a end credits joke, right? That he's still there.
Yeah. He ends up eating a mouse, doesn't he? Or a rat?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so now we get our meeting with the mole.
Hi, we're gonna go rescue Terrence and Philip from the USO show, and we were Shh! Who are you? Who sent you?
That Gregory kid. He said you could sneak us in.
Are you telling me that you intend to break into the USO show, filled with thousands of soldiers, and break out Terrence and Philip? I thought it was a pretty stupid idea, too. We're La Resistance. We want to save Terrence and Philip and stop the war and stuff. I can't help you. I'm grounded in my room for the next 3 days.
So are we. Our parents think we're home right now.
Why are you grounded? Why? Because God hates me, that's why. He has made my life miserable. So I call him a cocksucking asshole, and I get grounded.
So will you help us?
Very well. Meet me in the backyard in 5 minutes. Viva la Resistance. We'll show God that we're not gonna fucking take any more of it.
Christoph, get in here!
Coming, mother.
Yeah.
And this is a great new character. Like, I don't think he's ever come back. Oh, well.
Never come back.
Of course
not. He only exists in the latter half of this part of the movie, but he's great.
Yeah. He's very funny. Yeah. And he's grounded, too. So you have to talk to his mom first. Oh, sorry. The bull is grounded for saying some naughty things about Jesus or something like that.
And he says he's grounded because God hates me.
Yeah.
Right.
French accent for no reason.
At the time, I was a huge South Park fan, and even his stuff, because I was like still involved in the church at that time, it was like, I'm just like looking around seeing if Jesus is watching me. I'm like, is this too much?
Yeah, I think it's either in this scene or it's much later when he talks about like, where was your God when like someone tried to abort me with a coat hanger, basically.
Yeah. Holy shit.
It's one of those lines that's like, I mean, it's funny on its own, but it also makes you go, God damn. Like, I can't believe they put that in there. And that makes it even funnier.
Yeah.
Which, again, we're like 70% of the way through this movie. Like, given what's in the first 70%, like, for them to still hit you with a line that makes you go like, whoa, they really pushed the line there.
Mm-hmm. Well, and they've still got a few more visual gags that are going to heighten what they've already done, too.
Right. So we get Satan confronting Saddam, and Saddam changes his mind by saying he can change.
Yeah.
Right.
Some people say that I'm a bad guy. They may be right. They may be right. But it's not as if I don't try. I just fuck up. Try as I might. But I can change, I can change. I can learn to keep my promises, I swear it. I'll open up my heart and I will share it. Any minute now I will be born again. Yes, I can change, I can change. I know I've been a dirty little bastard. I like to kill, I like to hate. Yes, I'm insane, but it's okay because I can change. It's not my fault that I'm so evil. It's society. Society. You see, my parents were sometimes abusive, and it made a prick of me. But I can change, I can change.
What if you remain a sandy little butthole?
Hey, Satan, don't be such a twit. Mother Teresa won't have shit on me. Just watch me change. Here I go, I'm changing.
I can change, I can change.
This is I think one of the weaker songs, but it has, when Satan starts singing, he goes, but what if you never change? What if you remain a sandy little butthole? And the enunciation of the word butthole in that has always made me laugh. Just a nice little thing.
But this song...
I do like the breakdancing.
Yeah,
yeah.
Dancing's good. And I like that Kenny's kind of like watching and disappointed in Satan at the end. But it's more for the setup, right? So that way we hear the song again and we get to see Satan having grown from this experience.
Yeah. Right. Character development for Satan in the South Park movie.
I just think it's funny. He's like, I'm going to change now. And here I go. I'm changing. And then he just does a little breakdance and it's like, oh, I guess that was convincing.
I'm going to have to try that
next. I don't know how or why, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, next time my wife is bad at me for something, I'll just break dance and see if that gets me out.
I'll change.
Yep. I'm changing.
Here I go.
Yep. So now we get to the USO show, and Mole is telling them they've got 20 minutes to get in there and get Terrence and Phillip and get out. And Sheila and Big Gay Al introduce Terrence and Phillip, who are sitting in electric chairs, waiting to be electrocuted. But first, we'll get a performance from Yippee, the back-flipping dog.
Right. Is this? I think this is the part where they're getting ready. They're going over the plan outside with the mole, and the mole's like, "Did you bring the rope?" They're like, "Yeah, we brought the rope." "Did you bring the flashlight or whatever?" And he's like, "Did you bring the butt for?"
What's a butt
He's
for?
like, "What's a butt for?" For pooping, silly.
Yeah.
Takes a big drag on his cigarette.
So great. And I think doesn't Stan ask him if he knows what the clitoris, where to find the clitoris?
Yeah, he does.
And he goes up. He goes, "Hey, I don't have time for your fucking around.
You need to stop thinking with your dick."
You know what he says?
You're gonna get us all killed. Yeah.
Very, very awesome. And he's using a Viewmaster as well to like try and look instead of binoculars. Like I love that. Like there's still kid logic about as they're doing this, or a boot. I should say.
Also, they're executing in public.
Yeah, as part of the show.
That's so insane.
Yeah.
I mean, it used to be a thing, public executions, like even in the 1800s, I think it was pretty common.
Yep. And then again, like feeds right into what happens next, which is Sheila giving the Patton speech in front of the big flag.
Men, when you're out there in the battlefield and you're looking into the beady eyes of a Canadian as he charges you with his hockey stick or whatever he has, and people are dying all around you, just remember what the MPAA says. Horrific, deplorable violence is okay as long as people don't say any naughty words. That is what this war is all about.
Right.
Right there.
In case someone didn't get it. By this point in the movie.
Yep.
One more
this
time.
Is where he
for
said,
the people
the
in
kids don't have watches.
Right. They don't have watches. Right. That's what it was.
Yep. So the plan is for the mole to dig and rescue Terrence and Phillip. Kyle and Stan will create a distraction. Cartman is going to go shut off an alarm, or the power, I should say, so that they can't electrocute him. And if anyone's in trouble, they make a giraffe sound.
And what is it?
The sound of a dying giraffe. Yeah.
Now we get to the next part of the USO show, which is Winona Ryder doing her ping pong ball trick.
Yep.
Right.
And they do, so this is, like, it's an old cliche, and like there's some different famous porn movies where this kind of happens, like popping the ping pong balls out, and then, so they show it from the back like it's actually happening, and then they show you that she's just sitting in a weird space, just hitting ping pong balls, doing nothing important.
Yep.
But I love, so two things I really love about this scene. There's one guy in the background who's like, yay! Like nobody else is yaying for her. And then also she goes, I mean, war, man. Wow, war.
Wow, war.
Wow.
Yeah. It's great. And then while the boys are doing their plan, she's doing the ping pong ball trick, and the guards that are supposed to be out there, they're like, dude, did you hear what Winona Ryder's doing? And they run out and go see it, leaving all the boys alone to do their plan.
Yeah. So Stan and Kyle call for an encore from Big Gay Al, and he sings, I'm super, thanks for asking.
Well, all right. If you insist, I'll sing my song. I believe it goes a little bit like this.
Bombs are flying, people are dying, children are crying, politicians are lying too. Cancer is killing, Texaco's spilling. The whole world's gone to hell, but how are you? I'm super, thanks for asking. All things considered, I couldn't be better, I must say. I'm feeling super, no, nothing bugs me. Everything is super when you're, don't you think I look cute in this hat? I'm so sorry, Mr. Cripple, but I just can't feel too bad for you right now, because I'm feeling so insanely super that even the fact that you can't walk can't bring me down.
He's super, thanks for asking. All things considered, he could be better, he must say.
I'm super, no, nothing bugs me.
Which is a great
It's
song.
a great song.
It's fantastic. Yeah.
And the choreography, the costume changes. I mean, it actually is a really cool song.
Yep. And I watched this movie a lot when I was in like high school and stuff. And one memory I'll always have about the movie is at the very end of I'm Super, Big Gay Al is naked, like full frontal South Park nudity.
Yep.
Front and center. And right at that moment, my parents walked in the room. They opened the door, so I instinctively paused the movie right as Big Gay Al is
that's
full
awesome.
frontal. And there's no explaining that. You just be like, you know what this show is, right? Like, I can't explain this.
That's great. I also
Mom, Dad, you all know cartoon penises, right? All right. Yeah. No story here. Move it along.
I get the feeling I don't have the musical background. I've got more musical background than people that don't have any, but not as much as people that are really into musicals. And I get the feeling I don't have it as much as the three of you. But I love how it starts off just kind of Big Gay Al, kind of slow with like bombs are flying, people are dying, like this really slow thing, and then it goes into the big, the big crazed stage performance. It's just I love this song.
What makes that even better too is when they're calling for the encore, Big Gay Al's like, no, sorry, we don't have anything rehearsed. I don't know, we don't have anything. And then they break out into the most elaborate song and dance number in the whole
Clearly it has
movie.
to have been rehearsed. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you asked like, what is this a reference to? I mean, there's a million songs from old musicals that kind of fit this mold. They're calling in stuff like, like Busby Berkeley, stuff from the 30s, or like 42nd Street, like all these kind of grand old Broadway musicals of like the 30s and 40s and stuff. Like there's probably, 25 songs that kind of are basically like this, but it is a perfect amalgamation of those things. Like like I said, the choreography, the dynamics of starting real slow and soft like that, and then exploding into this big jazzy number.
It's perfect. Those background vocals.
I've heard, and I don't remember where I heard this, and so I don't remember who said it, and if they actually have any authority to say something like this, to have this sort of opinion. But I remember hearing that like you really can't like make fun, not even make fun, but like you can't parody a song or something without really knowing that genre really well. Like that in order for them to be able to do this the way they did, they had to have the background and the knowledge of all the, like you said, a lot of these musicals. They have to be very familiar with them in order to be able to create their own, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and Trey Parker and Matt Stone have talked about this in interviews that they have said, yeah, we love musicals,
Right.
and
Yeah.
especially a lot of interviews that came out around the time Book of Mormon was exploding. But they've done other musical things. I mean, there's plenty of music in South Park. They did that movie Orgasmo, which has a few songs in it.
Their original feature film was a musical that
Cannibal the
is
Musical.
really good. Yeah, Cannibal the Musical is like for a student film with no budget, it's like phenomenally good.
Yeah, and we should mention the songs are written by Trey Parker and then Mark Shaiman, who also did the score. He did lots of movie scores and stuff. You're kind of a well-regarded composer. When they did Book of Mormon, they paired up with Rolland Lopez and his wife, who had done a really dirty and funny musical called Avenue Q. Before
Great
this,
musical.
I highly recommend. They went on to do Frozen, so they hit the big times pretty well.
Also, before anyone asks, no relation, as far as I know.
Yes. So now it is time. So yeah, Cartman's at the power box. Kenny appears to warn him, and as we said earlier, this just scares Cartman so much he just runs off without shutting off the power. And this leads to them realizing the power's still on, so we get the giraffe noises. Mole is caught, and dogs are loosed on him.
He hates
And
dogs.
He is. Yep.
Yeah.
He hates dogs, and he is bitten and dies doing the La Resistance reprise.
Get him!
Sheet! Come on, Mole, come on! Sheet! Sheet! Fucking goddamn sheet!
The alarms, they went off.
Yeah, that was my bad, sorry.
Hold me, it's so very cold. There is no hope now. You must get out of here.
We can't leave without you.
It's okay, I'm done for.
No, we can't leave without you. We don't know where the hell we are.
Where is your God when you need him? Huh? Where is your beautiful, merciful faggot now? Here I come, God. Here I come, you fucking rat. Now the light she fades, and darkness settles in. But I will find strength.
No, Mole, hang
I
on.
will find pride within.
We'll get you home.
Because although I die,
I can't face my mother.
our freedom will be won.
Not alone.
Though I die, la resistance lives on.
Yep.
Again, Cartman's a dick.
Yep. The dying giraffe noise was a fun little, joke over a couple of scenes too, because when they start doing it, immediately one of the guards is like, "Hey, that sounds like a dying giraffe.
Yeah.
Let's go check that out."
Yeah. And they do the fake out death as well, where you think he's dead, and then he spits blood in their face or something, and then dies. Yeah. So now it's time for the execution, and Garrison is the executioner.
Yeah.
For unknown reasons.
With the hood over his head and the hood over Mr. Hat's head, so for anonymity purposes.
Right. So Stan tries to warn about Satan and Saddam. He just gets laughed at. And so the electrocution starts, but the Canadians attack. Cartman shuts off the power and gets shocked, and it's just complete pandemonium.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they want to get Terrence and Phillip to the rendezvous point.
Right.
Yes. But Stan is blown up, and he wakes up to find the clitoris.
Yeah.
Be not afraid.
Oh my God!
Behold my glory.
What are you?
I am the clitoris.
The clitoris? I did it! I found the clitoris!
Stan, you must not let Terrence and Philip's blood be spilled on the ground.
Wait, you're supposed to tell me how to get Wendy to like me.
There are more important matters right now.
No way, dude. I've looked all over for you, and now you have to tell me how to get Wendy to like me.
Dude, you just have to have confidence in yourself. Believe in yourself and others will believe in you. Chicks love confidence. Now go, hurry, the clitoris has spoken.
Stan, are you okay?
I see you failed in your mission. I should not have sent a boy to do a man's job.
Come on, everyone. We've got precious little time.
I'm willing to bet some people watched the movie up until this point and probably walked out on the clitoris point too, even though there's like 10 minutes left. Be like, nope, too much.
That's where it's too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first time I saw this movie, this went completely over my head. I was too young to understand what was going on. So I was like, I should probably remember this. That's literally all I got from this is like, they're making a big deal about this. file this away.
Well, I'm embarrassed to say it's still over my head, and I've watched this movie several times.
I love that when he finds the clitoris, like the size of it is hilarious. Like it's like the turtle from Neverending Story. Like it's this gigantic.
It's like he's talking to God.
Right.
That's what it's like presented as.
And the clitoris's advice is just like, be cool, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it actually gave him good advice.
Yeah.
Yep. Valuable advice on both fronts. Find it and have confidence. So it disappears. Warns him to save Terrence and Philip. The kids arrive and Stan leads them back towards the USO show. And we start getting this stuff where like the V chip is getting weird. Cartman is like zapping things, uncontrollably. And Operation Human Shield goes into effect.
Right.
Sort of.
This is where Chef tells him to get out of the way and stuff, right?
Yeah. Operation Get Behind the Darkies My Ass.
Yeah.
Right. What's supposed to happen, of course, is that all of the soldiers of color are in the front line with all of the white soldiers behind them. And so Chef is not putting up with that shit.
And they're strapped to the tanks and the airplanes too. They say like, don't forget to protect our tanks and our our Air Force. And then it shows an airplane and there's dudes like duct taped to the airplane wings.
But what do they do? They actually do something to get out of it. Do they like step?
They just like they just run out of the way.
They just run out of the way.
They just duck, and then all the guys behind them get shot.
Yeah.
And so the parents are kind of watching this from a hill, and they kind of abandon Sheila. They sort of realize like, this has gone too far. It's not what we wanted.
Yeah. Right.
But that doesn't get through to Sheila yet. So we get the Kyle and Cartman in a foxhole.
All those times I said you were a big dumb Jew, I didn't mean it. You're not a Jew.
Yes, I am. I am a Jew, Cartman.
No, Kyle, don't be so hard on yourself. What the hell am I still holding this for?
Take your hand! No!
Fuck this, dude. I'm getting out of here before I get in really big trouble.
I heard that.
Stan!
Dude, I found the clitoris, so now I think I can get Wendy to like me again.
Oh, that's swell, Stan.
Yeah, I guess all's well that ends well, huh? We can go home now, you dipshit. Ow! Oh, what's wrong with this thing? Come on, we can't let Terrence and Philip die, or else the whole world's gonna end.
So what is it? I'm sorry, I called you a Jew.
I'm sorry I called you a Jew. I didn't mean that. And Kyle's like, no, I am a Jew. And he's like, yeah, it's okay. I didn't mean that.
You're not a Jew, he says.
Yeah, that's what he says. Yeah.
Yep. So Terrence and Philip are cornered. The kids arrive. Kyle finally stands up to his mom, and the other kids follow suit. We get the speech about this is all about free speech rights and blah, blah, blah. And Kyle doesn't want a fighter. He wants his mom.
Kyle! I'm not gonna let you kill them, Mom. What? I'm not moving.
Stand down, children. You can still see fart jokes on Nickelodeon.
No, this is about more than fart jokes. This is about freedom of speech, about censorship, and stuff.
What about Ike, huh, Mom? Did you forget that your own adopted son is Canadian?
I'm doing very important things.
But, Mom, you never took the time to talk to me. Whenever I get in trouble, you go off and blame everybody else. But I'm the one to blame. Deal with me. You keep going off and fighting all these causes, but I don't want a fighter. I want my mom.
Oh, the poor little fella.
No!
Holy shit, dude!
Young man, you watch your mouth.
At which point Sheila just shoots Terrence and Philip in the head. And a tornado of hellfire erupts.
Yep. Ancient prophecy finally realized.
Yeah. Good job, Ms. Broflovsky. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if there's an ancient prophecy on South Park, it's coming true every time.
Oh, yeah. No, they're very much Chekhov's gun fans of like, if you say something, it's like we talk, I hate dogs. Dogs are coming, shut off the electricity. That doesn't happen. All these different things. Like, if there's a gun, they fire it.
Yeah. So Saddam is kind of taking the lead here. He's bulletproof. He wants everyone to bow to him. Kenny again tells Satan to stand up to him, at which point Cartman realizes his electro powers, and it's Dragon Ball time.
Let's start by building a big statue of me.
Yeah, Cartman, do it. Damn shit! Respect my fucking authority! Yay! You need to watch your mouth, Brad. Dog shit taco! Quick, Satan, do something. Try this on for size. Blood-drenched frozen tampon popsicle! Hi, buddy. I know I was mean before, but don't worry. I can change.
Oh!
Okay. Not. Fuck, shit, cock, ass, titties, burner, bitch, mug, pussy, cock, butthole, Barbara Streisand! What are you waiting for, bitch? Destroy him! Come on, you weak, stupid cumbucket, save me!
That's it! I have had enough of you!
Yep. Yeah, respect my fucking authority.
Yeah, very specifically, like, channeling the power of, like, the worst curse words he can imagine into his Dragon Ball blasts.
Which
basically.
includes Barbara Streisand as a curse word.
Yeah, Barbara Streisand as the kicker.
Yeah. And I love that they kept their powder dry on respect my authority, because like one of the biggest catchphrases in the show. I like that they were smart enough. Let's wait to have it actually have some value.
Yeah.
Because he could have been saying that all throughout the movie.
And just brilliant storytelling again. I mean, this whole thing is brilliant, but like the whole thing is like cursing is bad, and Cartman literally needs to curse in order to save the day. You know, it's like perfect.
Yep. And Satan is blasted down into the pit and impaled on Satan.
Saddam Hussein.
Satan picks up Saddam Hussein and throws him down on the spike.
Right. Satan,
but I believe he comes back on the show later.
He might, I don't remember.
I remember. Satan also.
Yeah, there's episodes that deal with the fallout of this. I remember.
Oh, nice.
Satan also picks up Mr. Hat. And
in
a great moment, he starts talking like Mr. Hat when Mr. Garrison is doing it, which I always thought was a neat, like, wait, so is Mr. Hat real? Because it was too...
Yeah, Mr. Hat has this effect on whoever picks him up.
to talk to, like, you know, hey there, hey Satan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what does that mean? Are we ever... And I don't know if we're ever going to find out if there's anything... If there's a Mr. Hat story that we're ever going to get. I don't think we will, but...
Probably not.
I think that exists. I think there are episodes that deal with stuff like that.
Oh, really?
There's an episode where like Mr. Hat goes missing and some different things, and but they've never like gone into the lore of like his backstory or anything.
But Mr. Hat, after this, Mr. Hat is with Satan, right? He doesn't come back.
He comes back many seasons later.
Okay.
Many seasons later, and it's like a big deal. It's like the Bar Brady thing. Like it's that's what the episode's about.
Gotcha.
Yep. So Satan thanks Kenny and grants him a wish, and Kenny wishes for everything to go back the way it was, even though that means he would go back to being dead. He gives a muffled speech that we can understand about that. At which point he finally takes off his hood and says, "Goodbye, you guys."
Yep.
And Rich, you mentioned who the voice was for this.
Mike Judge.
Yep.
Creators of Beavis and Butthead and King of the Hill, which both Trey and Matt are fans of his work. So I mean, it's lovely. It's an homage thing.
He opened the door for them to create South Park. I don't think South Park would have been able to exist if it wasn't for Beavis and Butthead. There's a definite step-by-step progression where we went with cartoons in prime time and with
you can definitely track like things from like basically you started like Ren and Stimpy to go to Beavis and Butthead to South Park.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
No question. And with a little bit of The Simpsons thrown in there too.
Yeah.
So I think they have Kennedy talk later in the show as well. You'll hear his voice from time to time. I don't think they bring Mike Judge back for that, but I could be wrong.
No. You hear Kenny a few times talking real, but most of it is when he is the alter ego Mysterion, and he's got a gruff Batman-like voice.
One time I think we do hear him speak, and we don't realize it's him until later in the scene after he's already spoken, is the Michael Jackson episode, where he's replacing Michael Jackson's kid and we don't realize that it's him because he's wearing a mask. So we don't know it's Kenny until later.
Good call. Been a while.
So the wish is granted. Everyone comes back who's dead comes back to life. They're happy Cartman's filthy mouth saved us all. Wendy is happy to be with Stan because fuck Gregory in the ear.
Yeah.
And we get our Mountain Town reprise, and Kenny flies off to boob heaven. And,
Now, see-
that's the end of the movie.
I'm alive. Where's Mr. Head? Wow, we were all dying and now we're fine. That's super.
What the fuck's going on? You see, Mom? After all that, it was Cartman's filthy fucking mouth that saved us all.
I'm sorry I didn't pay attention to you, Kyle.
But Wendy, what about Gregory?
Oh, Stan, I never really cared for Gregory.
You didn't?
No, dude, fuck Gregory. Fuck him right in the ear.
Yay! Thank you, Clitoris.
Everything worked out. What a happy end. Americans and Canadians are friends again. So let's all join hands and knock oppression down.
Don't you know our little lives are now complete?
'Cause Terrence and Philip are sweet. Super sweet.
Thank God we live in this quiet little independent home of truth was free, was good, was good, was good, was right. We this is a 5 hill, 100 gold, 3 3 100, 5 8, 100.
I think Kenny knew he would end up in boob heaven if that's the wish he made. I don't think he made the wish and accidentally ended up in boob heaven. I think he knew.
Oh yeah.
I think he had that plan.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He's a smart guy.
Yeah,
He's a calculating motherfucker.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's not the most selfless act.
Right.
Yeah.
I think he
And he becomes the 1,616th resident.
Oh,
of
really?
heaven
Was
or
it
something.
that?
Yeah.
Right. Well, I think in one play, didn't we have a scene where we?
When he first goes to hell, there's like this when he falls out of heaven, you see a sign that says like population 1,100 or 1,600 or something, and then hell's population is like 800 quadrillion or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, implication that nobody gets in.
Right.
And I love that, again, talking about tight storytelling, like, the Deus Ex Machina is like an old trope of storytelling, like, oh, God just comes in and saves everything. And usually it's a bad thing because it's unearned. It's like, oh, we got all these problems. Oh, a God just fixes it, right? And it's like, this is Satan Ex Machina, but it's well earned because of everything that Kenny's choice and everything that led up to it.
Right.
Yep.
And it allows them to fully take advantage of this trope that they kill Kenny in every episode by making that not be the end of his storyline, right? They tie that into everything else.
Yeah.
And so we go into the credits and we get this like kind of Trey Parker-y version of what would Brian Boitano do, which fades into the last song on the soundtrack, "The Eyes of a Child,"
Great
sung
song
by Michael McDonald.
One of my favorite parts has to be the just like abrupt, like, hey, if you need your car detailed, I have a buddy that can do it for $50.
Yeah. Michael McDonald.
Is that Michael McDonald also? Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's really funny because like especially in the 90s, this was such the like trend of like you'd have a song like this in the credits that you would totally ignore and was forgettable. So like that stuff about like, because the song sounds kind of normal and then something like that happens and you're like, wait, what?
Right.
What did he just say? And then he gets into the bridge or whatever where he's talking about, I got an eye on my hand. Like, what the fuck is that even about? Unless it's like the 1980s horror film The Gate. I don't know what he's thinking about with an eye on his hand.
And there was also a chicken wing thing, right? I've never read.
That's the Brian Boitano one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Eat so many.
That's in the Brian Boitano thing. Yeah. And that turns into like the whole breakdown, like in the last part of that song.
Yeah.
And I believe they put out a video for that as well.
It's funny. Whenever South Park does, like, obviously they're super talented with musical songs and like all the different music they've had on the show, but like they have fun with these metal songs all the time. And they're really good. Like as a band, they're quite good.
Yeah, I believe His band is DVDA, is what they call
Yes,
themselves.
it is. Yep.
Who's that? Whose band?
Trey Parker.
Oh,
Trey
really?
Parker.
And for the audience, what is DVDA?
DVDA stands for double vaginal, double anal.
Oh,
Thank you, Dave.
There we
okay.
go.
Yep.
Fun fact.
Wow.
And
That's
and,
impressive.
and where can I find the clitoris?
If you have
near one of
nostalgic
those
memories
things.
of the clitoris like I do.
Yeah.
All right. So, guys, we're here at the end of the movie. So I'm going to ask what I always ask at the end of this podcast, which is, why do you think that this, we're in what, season 26 of South Park now? Something like that.
Yep.
So the show has lived on, and certainly the movie still, I think, is remembered fondly. And so I'll just ask, what do you think it is about South Park that's kept it going all these years? Rich?
Two things. One is that unlike a show like The Simpsons or another, which are is a great show, but like the people who created it are not doing it anymore and haven't for a long time, right? Trey and Matt made South Park and they create every episode. They created the movie. They don't farm stuff out. They put their all into it. Whether they hit or miss on any given joke or any given episode, they are staking everything they can and they're constantly trying to perfect it and write it. And I think that this movie stands the test of time because it is just, I mean, we've been talking about the movie for an hour and a half and we're laughing all the time just remembering bits from the movie. That's what power can a comedy have when you just talk about it? Every scene makes 4 people laugh just talking about it. It's funny, it's tight, it's good. When I was coming up as an improviser in Chicago, I did a lot of musical improv, and all the music directors would use this and Cannibal the Musical as examples of how to, like, okay, we're doing this type of song. So in South Park, it's the opening. It's called a bustle, and you introduce different things. And then there's the I Want song where you lament something, and then there's the duet of the... And these were the things because they're so good at parodying the genre that they actually typify the genre, which is kind of what Rolland was saying earlier. And I think it's just, I don't know, it just holds up.
Rolland, your thoughts on why South Park endures?
Well, I just now went back to look at that original commercial, the one that made me go, who asked for this? And so many years ago, back in 1997. And they said it's a story about these 4 lovable scamps. And I think the fact that we're so used to cartoons being about lovable people and just being cutesy, nothing pushes that border like South Park does. I would even say that it pushed it more than Beavis and Butthead, pushed it more than Family Guy, without going into total X-rated territory. Like it's a cartoon that pushes things, and we need that maybe. That I think we still need that as a release of some sort because it didn't exist before. And so I think that was part of it. I do think that Matt and Trey are good at what they do. I mean, clearly they've done enough where we can say they're skilled at what they do. And they keep, and also there's the aspect of they keep putting out things that have to do with recent things in pop culture and in our society.
Dave?
Yeah, I mean, I think that like there's always room for a show or some type of media that's doing like satire like South Park does. And the fact that it's been going for so long and they have their process down makes it, maybe more sustainable than some others. But I think the reason that this movie has stuck around, it came out 25 years ago, if I got the release year right, why it stuck around for like the 4 of us and then, a bunch of other people is I think that this is emblematic of, like, I don't want to just, definitively say it's the best era of South Park, but it's definitely my favorite era of South Park. And a lot of people would at least agree, like, they're at least nostalgic for this era of South Park if they grew up with it. So the fact that it is, back in that era where it's for kids, it's not a lot of like current events satire. It is very like I mean, current events, I guess they're talking about their own controversies, but other than that, it's not like what's in the news this week type satire. So that gives it that timeless quality that later eras of South Park don't really have. It's the same as like, you know, am I going to listen to a podcast talking about the news from some random week 5 years ago? No. But those evergreen things do endure. And then the other thing about this, which I said at the top of the show, is that first and foremost, this is a musical, and it's a great musical. The music is fucking fantastic. And I would say that this is a musical for people who don't like musicals. If you're into South Park, I don't see any way that the fact that this is a musical is going to turn you off from this. It's too good, and it's too South Park. So it's stuck. The movie itself has stuck around, at least in my heart and the four of ours, I think for those reasons. And then the show, I mean, there's a bunch of reasons why the show has stuck around, but those reasons that you all talked about, why it has continued to remain like, you know, viable and important and self-sustaining. Like you said, Trey and Matt are still doing it. They could have retired decades ago if they wanted to, but they're still doing it. So that's my piece.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head, Dave, when you talked about like how this does satire a little differently than, I mean, there's still lots of satire around. We have SNL and The Daily Show, and you've got various outlets for all kinds of satire. South Park is kind of a blowtorch to society, and because it takes that approach, like they kind of hit harder and they go deeper. We did a podcast that you guys haven't heard it yet, but by the time you're hearing this, audience, you've heard it, on Blazing Saddles. And South Park definitely owes a debt to Blazing Saddles in terms of just saying like, no, we're gonna go straight to the fucking source, right? We're just gonna like root out evil and racism and whatever societal ill we want to kind of point this blowtorch at. We're going to do that, and again, hit it with everything we've got, but all wrapped inside just a very silly, whimsical package with, as you said, Dave, just a phenomenal soundtrack. Like, these are great songs, and like I understand why some people don't like musicals, but as a parody of musicals, like, they're very funny songs, and who doesn't like well-written, funny songs, right? I would encourage people, if you liked this, again, do check out Book of Mormon. I think, as you said, David, it may not hit as hard if you're not watching it to put all the songs in context. I think they do work in context. I don't know if you can see this anywhere right now, but if you get a chance to see a production of Avenue Q, go see that. And I would also recommend there, if you don't want to watch a lot of South Park or want like an unofficial sequel to this, there is that 3-episode arc they did called Imagination Land, which is almost, it's basically 90 minutes of South Park content that's like a movie, which they just did as a 3-parter. So I'd encourage people to check that out. So with that, we'll start bringing this towards a close. So Rich, you want to tell people about where they find you and your good works?
Absolutely. You can find, if you want an improv class from me, go to richbakercoaching.com or at richbakercoaching on Instagram or Facebook. But Rolland and I have been a comedy duo for a decade. This year is our 10-year anniversary. We perform all over the country. We have clips and shows on YouTube, youtube.com/Rolland and Riches. We can come to your town. We can come to your charity event. We can come to your corporate event. We bring the laughs. So, if you're looking to book a dynamite comedy duo, check us out.
Oh, and Rolland, where can people find you and the cool things you do?
Yeah, let me add on.
You're on mute, bud.
Yeah, let me add on to what Rich said, because our YouTube is Rolland and Riches, but make sure to spell it's ROLLIN. There's no G. It's Rolland in Riches. And my webpage is RollandLopez.com. ROLLAND. Lopez with a Z. I've got some voiceover stuff, and also do have some clips from Rich and my show, our show together. Like you said, we've been 10 years this year. So, and thanks for having me, buddy.
Oh, glad to. Dave, plug away, sir.
Yes. So first of all, thank you for having me back. It's always a pleasure coming on here, talking about our nostalgic stuff. And so for me, I do 2 podcasts. The first one's called Tales From the Backlog. It's a video games backlog deep dive analysis type show. Every episode is me with a different guest. We pull a game out, we play it, we discuss it in as much detail as we can. Episodes are quite long, so if you like really in-depth kind of analysis, we'll say, I'll stop trying to think of synonyms and just keep going. That's Tales from the Backlog. Doug was on the show one time before we did The Secret of Monkey Island together, which is a really fun episode if you played that game. I also, if you're listening to this because you like South Park, I did an episode about South Park The Stick of Truth, which is, I mean, if you haven't played it, it is phenomenal. Even if you're not normally someone who plays tons of video games, if you love South Park, you will love The Stick of Truth and the sequel, The Fractured But Whole. So I see with the movie title, with this movie, and then The Fractured But Whole, they got a knack for these titles. So anyway, that's Tales from the Backlog. You can find it wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also follow me on Twitter at RealDaveJackson. And my other podcast is much easier to explain. It's called A Top 3 Podcast. We do top 3 lists. We draft weird topics. It's a comedy show. It is like complete tonal opposite from Tales from the Backlog. I think that's a good time. So also on every podcast app, just search A Top 3 Podcast.
I will second that. Those shows are great. I am happy to support Dave on Patreon, which you should do. And if you have thoughts on this show, you can send us feedback. We're on the usual social media portals, Twitter, Threads, Instagram, and BlueSky. I'm also on TikTok, fucking around doing voices. In case you liked what you heard tonight, there's more of that, where that came from. So reach out to us there. Please do drop us a review if you have the time and are so inclined. That helps a lot with the show. In fact, for any podcast you listen to and like, do those guys a favor and drop a review where on iTunes or Podcast Addict or wherever you may, whatever your portal is, do that. So this is normally where I talk about what's coming up next. I'm not sure because I'm recording this real far in advance, but I believe what you just heard was our 2-parters on our favorite films of the 90s. So I've got a few things in the pipeline I'm working on. I'm hoping to put together an episode on Hook. That would be fun. I was still trying to work on one on Willow and 3 Ninjas, so I'm hoping I can get those all together. So lots of good stuff coming down the pike. Guys, thanks again for coming on. What a blast to revisit South Park. This was fun.
Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you.
And normally this is where I would use my sign off of saying, until next time, that is one more entry in the Nostalgia Arcanum. But I think I'd rather just say, screw you guys, I'm going home.
So don't give up, even when the road seems long. Just find that child inside of you. Yeah, you gotta find you. Spread your wings and fly to the brightest star. If you want, I can even give my friend Steve to detail your car for like $20. Through the eyes of a child, the world seems magical. There's a sparkle in their eyes. They've yet to realize the darkness in their soul, the beauty of their smile. Adventurous and wild. Sure, life is kind of gay, but it doesn't seem that way through the eyes of
doesn't seem that way through the eyes of a child.
Suck my balls.